Hello, and welcome to the Season 2, Week 1 of the 10th Point Weekly. Yeah! Woo!
Yay!
There we go!
Oh, yeah.
We, here at the 10th Point Weekly, we play Canadian Highlander. It is completely free to join. We play over on Xmage, which you may have had experience with, and if you haven't, I'm sorry for what you're about to see. It's essentially like discount moto. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Canadian Highlander, though. What's that? I've never heard of this crazy format. Canadian Highlander is a 100-card singleton, 1v1 competitive format where players start at 20 life. It has the vintage ban list, which is to say if a card exists, you can play it, unless that card is, like, just not a magic card, like the dexterity cards and anti-cards and whatever.
Yeah, anything that is banned in Vintage is banned in Highlander.
Right. But you can play any other card. So how do we control the power level, you ask? There's a points
10 points!
list. So every card that is particularly powerful will have a number of points associated with it. You can only have up to 10 points in your list, hence the name of the weekly. And that's done to make sure that not every deck just free rolls 5 Mox, Lotus, like Vintage does. So this is very much like Vintage Light. Games are... I've had trouble describing to people like how fast games are without a really deep understanding.
I had a discussion of this. Canlander is a turn 3.5 format, but it's not turn 3.5 in the way Modern is. Modern is turn 3.5 because you don't have the ability to interact. Canlander is turn 3.5 because if you're caught in a situation where you can't interact, you're dead turn 3, but if you can interact, you're going to be playing a 20-turn game.
Yeah, so...
it feels a lot like playing Legacy or playing Cube.
Yeah, I think Cube is the most apt comparison. Aggro decks and combo decks in the format can often goldfish a turn 4, but mid-range mirrors and control mirrors, mid-range versus control, mid-range versus aggro, those can grind out to some really long games. So when we say the speed of Modern, don't think ships passing in the night. Think, long, grindy games sometimes, and really fast games others. I think that's everything on Canlander. If you want to find out more about it, Google it. There's a blog spot. It's maintained by the Canadian Highlander Council, which is
a lovely, lovely video that was made as the start of North 100's podcast.
Yeah,
where the first North 100. Their first episode, their episode 0, is what is Canadian Highlander?
So if I did a terrible job, which no doubt I did, go check it out. They'll tell you all about it much better. So we're just getting my esteemed co-host, the Red Mage, online. Let me run through and introduce some people. This week we have full 8 players, which is super sweet. We have, and some of these are temporary in theory. Not all of them will be here forever, but we have Tulip, Mr. Tulip. We have Nefola.
Hello.
We have Pat who's not here yet, but we'll get to him in a second. In the Pacific Northwest, which is recently experiencing a major snow event that is taking down a lot of infrastructure around here. And that includes some amount of power substations, some amount of internet providers, stuff like that. So my internet is going to be spotty. My apologies on that. It's really entirely out of my control. But we'll do our best and also get lucky as the hope. That's a Magic Tournament way, right?
I'm in a pretty similar boat.
Yeah. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, you know what I mean. It snows and everybody loses their freaking mind.
It's because nobody can fucking drive in the snow here.
Because no one's prepared for the snow.
Yeah, nothing will get people who live in the Pacific Northwest more angry than talking about how other people in the Pacific Northwest have no idea what to do in the snow.
Yeah.
Okay, my family is from Pittsburgh. I know how to drive in the snow, or at least I know like how to survive in the snow. Like, why can't you friggin' Anyway, the one single snowplow in the entirety of the Pacific Northwest is currently lost somewhere on I-5.
Not good.
Yeah, it's lovely times out here. So, I mean, what else do we have to talk about? There's other stuff to talk about.
I need
right?
to introduce myself.
Yeah, of course, I forgot to finish the introductions. And Kara.
Hi, I'm Kara. She, they pronouns, please.
Boom. It's that easy.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we should talk about the council a bit. I don't know, dude. Fill some time while my co-host gets here.
We could talk about the decks that people are playing.
I mean, we could.
Yeah.
Is everybody okay with that? I don't want to just out people for what decks they're playing.
My deck is very surprising to everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, Windy always plays the same deck.
I actually do have something to talk about. So, for last season of the
oh, no mic for Pat.
No mic for Pat? Oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace.
Rip and
Well,
pepperoni.
somebody get him to join in and sit here and talk to us at least, just listen to us. Okay, so last season of the 10th Point Weekly, we got some pretty cool upgrades to our back-end system for tracking people and how they did. I've got this. I'm looking at this big old spreadsheet that is every sign-up that we had for the last season, but we also have player performance and stats for the entirety of last season, which is really cool. We didn't really talk about it too much last season because we weren't entirely sure whether the system worked. But now that we know that the system does work, I can talk about it a little bit. So, we were tracking win percentage, tournament wins, number of events, and obviously your win-loss to track your win percentage. I can tell you that the top 3 players, all with comparable win percentages, were MrTulip, Wafa the Red, and WindyDelCarlo from last season. We're tracking qualifying points, but I'm not sure how. I think it's you get 3 points for a win at an event. Like 3 points for a tournament win. I'm not entirely sure. Once the Red Mage is on here, he'll talk about it a little bit more.
Oh god, that's gonna be bad for the people. Like the part of the reason why they did so well in the stats is
because they showed up every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Unlike some of us.
So
this is gonna be really awkward for me. Because I have to leave at 3 p.m. every day, every Sunday.
I have to leave. Yeah. I have to leave at 1 or 2 today.
Yeah, so I might have to leave halfway through my round 3.
Yeah, of course.
I've got concert orchestra rehearsals.
ETA. I'm trying to get my co-host to get on here.
Yeah.
I'll butter up our new sign up. How about that?
Okay.
This week we also have PatPatPat, who does not have a microphone. For those of you who do not know who PatPatPat is, he's a prolific Victoria scene player, which is the birthplace of Canadian Highlander. He is the progenitor of 4-color pod decks, hence the name PatPatPat. He's very successful over in the Victoria scene, and we are super glad to have him. I think he does other stuff, but to be frank with you, I didn't prepare a 2-page memo on his life and achievements. So
to give Pat the credit he deserves. There is an entire archetype named after him.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think he might have been on the council, or is on the council, or I'm dumb. One of the three.
That's fair.
Anyway, we're super happy to have him on. I think like the long-term goals for the tournament are kind of like just getting more people to play, and so anybody new who comes on is fantastic. We love to have you. We also have new player Nurovi and new player Seismic Lawns on. I've seen you guys around the Discord somewhat, but I haven't had an opportunity to have you guys on yet.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It should be fun.
The Red Mage is having some audio problems, but that shouldn't stop us from firing round 1, I don't think. So, is everybody ready for pairings?
Okay.
All right.
Hope everything works.
Boom.
Also, I think I'm going to be the first game that's commentated on because I'm bringing a pile that's interesting to people.
We'll see. All right, let's put them in the chat.
All right, let's take a look.
Boom.
Hey, Tenebre, let me
Alright.
host.
Seismic, you'll need
Get
to hop
out of
over there.
here. Separate into your channels, nerds.
Okay.
I'll go to tempo.
All right, Nurovi and Pat produce. Pat. The way we do things around here is you separate into the channel that you with the person that you're playing against. But if you don't have mics, then don't worry about it. But get out of here because we're doing coverage in here as soon as my co-host gets here. All right. So, yeah, let's talk about the archetypes for a moment. This week, we have Pat Produsco on Blue-Black Shadow Tempo, which is a super cool list that I have not had a chance to look at too closely. We have WindyDelCarlo on Blue-Red Spells, obviously. He's on this list every week. It's super sweet, just like Is It Rarebinder, but much more focused. Nurovi is on Esper midrange. Nefola is on Mardu midrange. So we got 2 white 3-color midrange decks. We got MrTulip on red green aggro, my favorite. That's the list that I run. I love red green aggro. We got Tenebre on Sultai Channel Eggs combo. I'm trying to figure out entirely what this list does, but I'm sure we'll find out once we get into the games. We've got Seismic Lawns on 4-color no blues Warriors midrange. I think it's kind of an aggro list, sort of a Basta-esque thing, but I'm not entirely sure. And we've got Kara on Blue-Black Doomsday. Oh, and I've got a co-host.
Yeah, I was about for you to finish the list and be like, and we have the Red Mage in the booth, but, but apparently you noticed. Sorry about being late.
No, of course.
Yeah. How are we? I'm excited to start the new season. This is super neat.
I'm really pumped. So we've got several matches, but the one that is, I think, the most important for us to look at is Tenebre versus Kara. They're both playing combo lists. Kara is on the really complex Doomsday, and Tenebre is on a combo list I truly don't understand. Plus, Kara's probably going to have to go at some point, so it would be nice to catch her list on camera.
Yeah, I'd be definitely down for that. Also, combo lists have a way of not doing terribly well in our tournaments, to be honest.
Yeah.
Catch up round 1 while they're still tied for first.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why that is, but, like, we have super low representation of aggro and combo in the server, despite the fact that they're, like, because the entire field is just dirtily mid-ranged, you can just dirt them out.
I can tell you at least part of the reason. Part of the reason that I think combo is not doing super well is that one of our mainstays that has been there literally every week, almost every week at least, is Windy with his tempo list. It just eats combo for breakfast.
It just eats combo for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, and the other thing is that a lot of our established players are on control lists that are well set up to do, like Wafa, for example, usually comes to the party well set up to beat combo, even though control is usually a bad matchup. Same for Eripmap, right? Like, they run these like control decks that are so grindy that they don't care about you setting up the perfect hand. Like they will always have one more answer than you. There is no hand that you can have that has enough answer.
Yeah.
And that ends up being. And the other people tend to rotate. Like, and then we have people like Tulip, right? They just run aggro and will just run the combo players over. Like, if I think you said we have a bunch of people that are mid-range, I think we need more people running mid-range for combo to really prosper, because those are the decks that combo wants to defeat. Or more like traditional control decks that are not as set up like Eric mobs.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get into the games here. As soon as Xmage loads up, there we go. Okay.
We're on Xmage.day, right?
Yes. So this match is Simeon, that's Kara, versus Tenebrae.
Yeah. I got the game. Tenebrae has set up a game where I'm waiting for Simeon to show up and then I'll join.
Tenebrae has land fetch, and then he tapped for something.
Oh.
Got 5 cards in hand. Tenebrae put the impulse on the
yeah.
stack. There we go. Simeon.
So Simeon had shut up. I'm just an idiot. Okay, yeah. So I see. Yeah.
Both players impulse here. There we go. Okay, so Tenebrae is looking at a hand with Swamp, City of Brass, Botanical Sanctum, Chromatic Sphere, Manamorphose, and Increasing Ambition. Which is
Increasing Ambition is not a tutor that you often see in this deck. It's very expensive is the problem.
5 mana DT, and then it's 8 mana from your graveyard, but you DT twice if you cast it from your graveyard.
Yeah, it's 8 mana though, like...
Yeah.
It better win the game, which it does. Double tutor often wins.
Yep.
But at that point, you might as well run... what's its name? The card from Behold the Beyond, I guess.
Yeah. So Simeon's looking at a hand with Marshflats, Thoughtseize, Labman, Muddle, Seething Song, and Chain of Vapor. Seeing Labman in the opener for Doomsday is pretty bad, especially if it get... I mean, it's going to get Thoughtseize out here if Tenebrae knows what's good for him. And that really sucks for Simeon.
Yeah.
A lot of your...
No, actually, the hand, having it in the graveyard is better than the hand, because Doomsday can fetch stuff from the graveyard.
Yeah, there are ways to get things back from the graveyard, but seeing it in the hand is real bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to look at chat and it's playing the audio. No. Please go away. Okay.
Alright, we got Jost in the chat. Classic viewer. Comes here almost every week, which is really cool. It's nice to see you again. Botsy is sitting on the stack. I mean, what a hand to look at, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you want to take... Like, you definitely...
Takes Muddle.
No, you don't want to take the Labman. In the Doomsday can take cards from the graveyard, right? So, like, having it in the graveyard is better than having it in the end. If you have it in the end, the only way that you have to get into play is casting it, and that costs 3 mana.
Yeah.
If you have it in the graveyard, you can reanimate it. That's only 1 mana.
Yeah, and now that Simeon doesn't have a tutor in hand, things are looking real bad.
Yeah, no, I think that's a lot better.
Man, that's really rough.
I'm finally looking at chat.
There we go.
Oh, who are you on the Discord? Jost.
Yeah, are they on the Discord? I didn't know that.
They claim to be.
They claim to be.
I mean, I have no reason not to believe them when they say that they are.
Spotted cheetah! Oh my God, spotted cheetah!
Oh, you're a cheetah!
All the time.
Oh yeah, okay, fine.
Sweet. So Tenebrae draws, Shred Memory here. Yeah, Thought Seizes and Ponders find Shred Memory, which is just gonna transmute for.
Okay, so what is Tenebrae's trying to do? Like,
So,
I know that Simeon is on Doomsday.
Okay, so do you have any idea what Doomsday is doing? I read a quick
I know. I have some idea what Doomsday is doing because Simeon was so kind to send us a little bit of a guide before the tournament. But I don't know what the other combo deck is doing.
I have no idea what Tenebrae is doing. However, in his list there are a lot of eggs and the card Channel. And I believe a lot of tutors that find specifically Channel. to generate a lot of colorless mana, which then will presumably be used by eggs to
So he's on eggs.
Kind of.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, he's on a much more Simeon. Is Simeon Chain of Vaporing the Chromatic Sphere? Yeah. So Chain of Vapor is a classic combo anti-interaction piece. It's a single blue for an instant that returns a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then they can sack a land, and if they do, they get to do the same for you. But because...
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning that a thing you can do, which doesn't come up super often, but it does in some Storm draws, is you can Chain of Vapor your own mocks, and then you get to sacrifice lands to copy the spell, and you get to, as long as you have lands to stock, you can bounce any number of your own permanents.
That's really sweet.
Which is a tech that doesn't come up as often as in Highlander, because you don't have as many, mana advantage rocks, but it's something that gets done in Vintage a lot. Yeah. You're on your Storm terms, you Chain of Vapor 3 of your own mocks, and then you immediately redeploy, and then just 3 Storm for 1 mana.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, Tainted Pact is almost an instant speed DT. As long as you have no cards with 2 of the same name in your deck, you just get whatever card you want. So it's 1 and a black for an instant. You exile the top card of your library. And then you have a choice to put that into your hand, unless it has the same name as another card exiled, that way. If you don't choose to, you just repeat the process. You exile another card until you put a card into your hand, or you exile 2 cards with the same name, whichever comes first. So essentially it works out in Highlander to be Tainted Pact, I'm going to go get, whatever it is that I want, just flip cards off the top. Tainted Pact does have a risk, though. Those cards are permanently exiled. You're never going to get those back. So if you are playing, Doomsday, for example, and you Tainted Pact... Hello?
Alright, are you back?
Yeah. Storms in my area are making internet super inconsistent right now. For me.
Alright, but you're back for now?
Yes. Let's see if I can connect to Xmage at the... I'm deeply sorry, but there's almost nothing I can do about it at this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Realistically, probably we should have run the thing from my end, but then I had this thing that it was gonna be late, so
yeah, of course.
Oh well. Let's try to make the best out of it. It's okay. So I think we're having some difficulties. I see that the chat is flaring up. Simeon also claims that they're having an X-Mage problem.
Yeah, so again, for those of you who don't know, me and Simeon and a lot of other people on the server live up in the Pacific Northwest, and it has snowed a shitstorm in the Pacific Northwest. I am in one of the less affected areas, and I got 8 inches of snow. Some areas got up to 10, and it's only going to snow more over the weekend. So there are just internet towers that happen to be out. Sometimes there are entire streets near me without internet wholly, just because their internet distribution box or whatever just doesn't work. So it sucks, but it's a little, sort of hand of God. There's nothing I can really do.
Yeah, we'll see. What we can do to make things a little bit more stable is maybe between round 1. Yeah, maybe between round 1 and round 2, you hand it over. I don't know how that ends up working out, but I think we have make things happen.
WindyDelCarlo. I don't know if Terramander crashed the server or the server broke separately. Yeah. Welcome to Xmage, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen this piece of shit before.
To be fair, I think this is not Xmage. I think that Simeon is having also some internet issues, and because I see that they disconnected. So I think that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Why don't we watch a different game while I think I see Tenebre conceding?
Yeah, we can watch a different game.
Yeah, let's go to a different game while these players set things up.
So we can watch.
I'm gonna message them on the server and see if I can figure out what their plan is.
Yeah, they're going to restart because the game literally broke. Sweet. Very exciting. So. We can watch a Pauper game. I think that was
Pauper game.
That was,
what?
I think, the only game that was happening on xmage.de. I think everything else is going on the beta server.
Wow.
Windy, what's up? Give us the lowdown.
Okay, so Terramander crashed the server.
What?
Terramander crashed the beta server. Beta server went back up, but I've got to hop off for other reasons.
Oh, exciting!
Apparently we need groceries or something, and I only have 2.5 hours.
Nice, really cool.
Yeah. So I have to drop.
That's
unfortunate, but
that's unfortunate, but highly fair.
Yeah.
I mean, life happens. It's fine.
I definitely cannot start round 1 at 12:30.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
hopefully I will get into a different tournament later.
Yeah. Well, all right.
All right. See y'all later. Hopefully
right.
it runs well.
Yeah. Have a good day. So I am not entirely sure.
All right, so there are 2 games currently. I see Nef and Tenebre both have games up on xbridge.de.
I don't know where Pat and Nurovi are playing their game, but I just don't think we're gonna worry about it. How you doing, Seismic Bronze? Have your guys' game already finished out, or?
Yeah, I was on the Windy's game.
Oh, I see.
I see.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
All right, you want to watch Nef's game?
Sure.
Yeah, let's take a look at Nef's game.
Well, looks like Kara is back in Tenebre's game. It would be nice to catch Doomsday. Yeah, let's try that.
Okay, let's say that then.
All right, we've restarted their game.
Yeah, okay, we are sorry about these technical difficulties and all of these people being late and people having to leave and stuff like that. The tournament is usually not like this for people watching. It's but we are this week apparently the first week is. The
first week is cursed. We've never had a first week go entirely right.
Yeah, just go entirely right. Yeah, it's some teething pains. We're just starting this again. We'll get things. We'll get things rolling. I'm gonna figure out where PatPatPat and Nurovi are, just in case.
Please do. So, looking at Simeon's hand, we've got classic tutors such as Beseech the Queen, which is black for search your library for a card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control, reveal it and put it into your hand. But she also has Squandered Resources, which is a black-green enchantment, sack a land and to add a mana of any type the sacrificed land could produce, which has a negative interaction with Beseech the Queen, and I think that's pretty obvious. We also have Lindell's Vault. This is the old border version, but I'll give you the slim of it. It's blue-black for an instant. You look at the top 5 cards of your library, and then if you don't like it, you can pay 1 life, put them on the bottom, and look at the next top 5 cards. And then, once you're happy with the top 5, you set them aside, shuffle your library, and put the top 5 back in any order that you choose.
Notably, it does not say draw a card, so it is kind of negative. which is I think one of the very important things about the card.
Yes. So over on Tenebre's side, we have a couple of lands: DT, Vampiric Tutor, Shred Memory, and Stroke of Genius. So if so Stroke of Genius implies that there is a infinite mana loop, because you can make your opponent draw X+1, where X is the number of cards in their library. And we also have two now, Dimir Infiltrator and Shred Memory tutors for a 2 CMC card. Tenebre's going to hold off on Dark Writ for Transmute Shred Memory, which I think is fair.
Seems reasonable.
Yep. We also see Vampiric Tutor out of Tenebre. So this is the kind of the classic combo hand. Fast mana, your win con, and 3 tutors. So we'll see how that goes. Head over to Simeon. Draws a Thoughtseize. So Thoughtseize.
Yeah, I'm seeing some more technical issues happening in the Tenebre and Simeon game. I think they both think they have priority. This is it's a problem.
Yeah, X-Mage is a quality program.
Okay, X-Mage just finally updated for me. They're not updating for a while, but now I have the hand access, which is awesome.
Are we back? I think we're back. Hello?
Okay,
I
see
need
you're
to
back.
hand this off to you, like, now.
Yeah, I'm booting up Streamlabs right now. I was doing that as when the internet went down again.
Yeah, I expected it to be like bad, like I might lose internet once, but losing it every like 15 seconds was not expected.
It's not good. Let me go back to
yeah.
Let me put things up. Okay, I'll need a couple of seconds to like log back out of Streamlabs and log back in, but okay. Let's keep it. Let's continue the stream for now, and I'll take over as soon as I'm done. I'm finished setting things up.
Yeah, Simeon's gonna concede 0-2 to Tenebre.
Because they can't.
Because she's gonna have to leave. Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it, man.
Well, this is not.
Week 1 is cursed.
Yeah, I'm really upset because I had kill next turn.
Oh my god.
Well, not next turn, but within the next 2 turns. So, to those who were watching and didn't really understand exactly what I was playing Doomsday, which is different because Tenebre was on Storm and I was on Doomsday.
Well, here's the thing: Tenebre was on like a channel list that I really want to see more of.
Is it like Channel Storm?
No, it's like Channel Eggs. It's weird.
We have no idea.
Let me I think I posted it in competitive discussion. My hand, or it's in tournament discussion. It's in tournament discussion. So with my hand and what I had, all I needed was either an additional I could probably go off turn 4. So turn 3, I was gonna cast Squandered I was gonna fetch for Scrubland.
Gotcha.
And then I was gonna do Squandered Resources, cast Squandered Resources.
2 lands or 3 lands at this point?
2 lands.
Gotcha.
And then the next turn, actually no, it was 3 lands. So I was gonna Squandered Resources and then Thoughtseize. And then turn 4, I was going to Beseech the Queen for Doomsday.
Gotcha. Squandered.
And then and then I have and then I have the ability to hold up to basically I had sack a land into opt, none to opt into sack a land and then tap a land into Worldly Council, and then the next turn I would to get like another land or something, and then Doomsday. Shut up, Tulip. Tulip is shaming me for my lack of images. It's because I'm on a MacBook Air, and sometimes images made things glitch.
God, yeah. Things work sometimes and don't work others. So, do we have results for Seismic, Lawns, and Windy? Or are you guys still playing your game? Or no, Windy dropped. Gotcha.
Yeah, Windy dropped.
Yeah, Windy had to leave.
Windy dropped. Nurovi and Pat are still playing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we don't know where.
We don't know where, though. All right, I'm gonna
to do the casual X-Mage, to do the casual post-game explanation when my deck glitched. Doomsday is a deck that is all about assembling piles of 5 cards that can draw 6 cards and play and play through and then play Laboratory Maniac. So if I 6 cards and the last card is drawn with Laboratory Maniac in play, I would normally lose, but because of Laboratory Maniac's replacement effect, I win.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, Doomsday is black, black, black for a sorcery.
And then I exile everything that is not in my hand, except for 5 cards that I choose.
Yep.
And
you put them back in any order.
Lose half your life.
And then you lose half your life, rounded up.
Yeah.
I'm ready to take over whenever.
Okay, I'm gonna drop the stream, and then we're gonna pass it on over.
Yeah,
to...
we're gonna
rejigger this.
Yeah, we're gonna restart the stream, and then it's gonna be on my end, and hopefully things work out better in terms of internet, and we'll take it from there.
I'm also kind of glad.
All right, so we'll see you in a second.
Should be back. Hello. Sorry to everybody that wasn't that was not that was watching to the stream. If my co-hosts can say something in chat, I am verified at our audio level, or at least somewhere in a vicinity of okay. Elo?
Yes, hello.
Okay, I think you need to be boosted a little bit.
Boost me! Boost me! No, okay.
Yeah, okay, you should be fine now. Okay,
all right, perfect.
Let's take it from there, and then chat. If chat can't hear us, fine. That's okay. We'll take it from there. Okay, so after all of this, after the debacle that was round one, assuming that there is no ongoing round one, what do we do?
Pat Producer versus Nurovi.
Are they still going? Where are they playing?
I do not know. I'm gonna try to find him. Other servers? Do you think they could be on?
Are they on Powers of War?
Powers is dead.
Powers is dead, yeah.
Powers is dead? Okay, then where are they?
They might be on Vapor.
I tried.
Vapor is dead.
Vapor's
dead?
Yeah.
What happened?
Beta is fine.
Alright, I'm gonna go over to the beta server and see if they're on there.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna check if maybe they're playing under Vintage instead of Canadian Highlander, and that would
explain a lot.
That would explain where we can find their game. Because sometimes they do that. Yeah, okay. There is a Vintage game. Yeah. It's on X-Mage. Nurovi and...
It's on xmage.de. It's just
it's on day. It's just on the Vintage. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Why?
So there is a reason to play under Vintage, and that is that sometimes X-Mage doesn't update cards properly. Oh, I think they just started the game too.
Perfect. We can get in on that. So what lists are we gonna see here? We're gonna see.
So Pat is on 2-color shadows, or I think they started a little bit ago, but the same ancestral vision suspended. So it can't be that.
Oh, I'm not streaming anymore, so I can just open tabs willy nilly.
I know,
perfect.
Right?
So Nurovi's on Esper midrange, and Pat is on blue black shadow.
Yeah. I can't see anything. But as soon as Xmage uploads, I'm going to.
So, Blue Black Shadow is a list. I'm not entirely sure what it does. It's got mostly instants and sorceries, 15 creatures.
I think it's just Blue Black Tempo with Death Shadow. I think that's everything that is that there is there. There are game actions that are being taken. You can't see them on the screen, but it's gonna happen soon. Give Xmage time to actually stop being Xmage, I guess.
Yeah. We got a card on suspend. We got Ancestral Vision on 2, presumably under Nurovi's control, but we don't know. All right. Soft coming out. Equip trigger, or equips targeting presumably Deathrite Shaman. Yuriko, what the fuck does this card do?
Oh, Yuriko the Tiger's Shadow is sweet. It's a 1/3 ninjutsus for 1 in the blue. I think for UB. I think you play her for 1 UB, and when any ninja hits your opponent, you get to basically reverse Bob. You reveal the top card of your library and knock them equal to the CMC of the card, but they take the damage. You don't take damage.
And then you draw it.
And then you draw it. Yeah.
Oh, that's highly rad.
It is super sweet.
I love ninjutsu. What a great mechanic.
What deck was Nurovi on again? Sorry.
Esper midrange.
Alright.
They have no cards in hand. We got a Jace Telepath on bound, and in the graveyard we have Opt to cast off of it. Equip soft to Deathrite Shaman. And then it's gonna pass the turn over.
Okay, I'm gonna stop watching and start watching again to see if that fixes the problem, because we can't see anything on my.
Oh, perfect! Lovely.
Yeah, I know.
I'll give you a breakdown. Pat has 5 lands. Nurovi has 4.
Okay, now we can see stuff. Awesome.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Obstructionist. I believe this is just Nimble Obstructionist, like the card that Pat is flashing in on the end step here.
Yeah, this is the actual card.
Gotcha.
It has the full
Not
text. It's not just the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe. So okay. So Pat has a lone Inquisition of Kozilek in hand, but he has a pretty overwhelming board. This sort of Feast and Famine is doing its best to keep things. Well, actually, never mind, because this sort of Feast and Famine keeps the Tassigor at bay, the Jace keeps the Yuriko at bay. What does Nurovi's hand look like? Nurovi has empty. Oh, so they're both empty-handed, basically.
Yeah. Nurovi has a Creeping Tar Pit, which they could activate, but unfortunately, no black mana.
Well, the black mana from so they can activate it using the Creeping Tar Pit to activate itself. Doesn't accomplish much, but it's possible.
They can activate it with Deathrite Shaman.
Oh yeah, there you go. Are there lands in graveyards? Is that let's check.
There's one.
Pat has nothing in his graveyard.
Yes.
Nurovi has 5 cards, including a Drowned Caracom.
Yes.
Okay. Oh
no! We've made the game terribly laggy for Pat and Nurovi here.
Is it? Ah.
Yeah. Alright, flashed in Nimble Obstructionist. Passing turn. Pat's upkeep. And... draw.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching for like a little bit and see if the situation improves, but otherwise, like, we can't keep watching like these.
Yeah. Pat has a Tassigor. Patty, why am I at 16 life? Deathrite Shaman triggers, my dude. Probably. Looks like it, yeah. It's knocking down twice when for no reason. 1, 2.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why nothing was happening, but...
Huh. Alright, Pat draws a Jace Burns Prodigy. So at this point, there's an interesting question to be asked. Pat also controls a Tassiger the Golden Fang,
Yes.
which, if you didn't know, actually has an activated ability. It's not just a 4/5 for a single black mana.
I mean, if you play Modern, you activate the ability... Like, in Modern, you activate the ability relatively often. Most important is, though, one of the players... I don't know who, but there is an Ancestral Vision suspended. Like,
yeah, that's under Nurovi's control.
Yeah, so, like, if this Ancestral Vision resolves, I think Nurovi runs away with it. I think Nurovi is already, like, slightly ahead. But I think if that resolves, the game's over. Which is why Pat's doing the best not to make it happen. This Nimble Obstruction is going to apply some pressure, but Nurovi's at 20 life.
Yeah. So Tassiger can start activating stuff and returning stuff, but I think Pat's just going to go for the JVP here.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Yeah, because there's an interaction between Tassiger and JVP that you can loot with Jace, you put a card in the graveyard, you activate Tassiger, you put more cards in the graveyard.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
Tassiger puts the top 2,
the
Jace puts 1.
The problem with that plan is the Death Ray Shaman. Pat currently has 0 cards in his graveyard, and Jace, which means Jace is not going to flip for a while.
Yeah, it'll be 3 turns at least.
And
there are a lot of people watching this game as well. I think it's me, Tulip, you, and like maybe Nef. That's very strange. Thank God X-Mage has such a great development team.
I've actually had very good experiences dealing with the X-Mage development team.
Really?
I don't think that the development team is a problem. The problem is that, like, I don't think that none of them does this for a job, right? It's more of like a side project. I'm sure that they, like, you know, like, I'm sure that given the amount of time and resources that they have, the program is as good as it can be. I don't expect either of those things to be a whole lot.
Yeah. Huh. Alright. Swinging at the Jace Telepath Unbound with Tassiger. Nurovi has no cards in hand. No way to interact with this. Jace is dying here.
You can see also appearing on the screen the non-art Ravnica Legion's planes, which is super unfortunate. Art and X-Mage have a complicated relationship that I have been trying to arbitrate a few times, but to middling results. But we'll get. This is not really watchable. I think we need to leave.
Yeah, if you'd like.
I mean,
can figure that one out.
The problem is that, like, this game is just going so slow that, like, it's just like. Not only it's barely playable, it's not really a great show anyway.
Yeah. Unfortunate stuff. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave. Okay. I'm gonna put up the technical difficulty stream, the technical difficulty screen, and we can chat. We can chat for until the round is over, and then we'll play another round and see how things go better for that.
Yeah.
Man can hope. So let's.
So tell me about the results from last season.
I was about to do that. In the actually, so can we actually make the point on where we are for today? Actually, because we started with 7 players, we had some dropouts. Some people had their internet just destroyed. We had to restart the stream. What's going on in aggregate? Like, what's happening?
I believe we still have 6 total players. We have Tenebrae, Tulip, Nefola, Seismic, Lawns, Nurovi, and PatPatPat.
Okay. And what else? So what are the scores so far?
So far, we have. Let me pull it up here. Tulip bested Nefola 2-0. Seismic Lawns beat Windy and Windy dropped. Tenebrae beats Kara and Kara drops. So that leaves us. Whoever wins out of PatPatPat versus Nurovi, we're gonna have 4 1-0s and 2 0-1s. Which is so Nefola's gonna play whoever loses out of Pat and Nurovi, and then we'll have Tulip, the winner of Pat and Nurovi, Seismic, and Tenebrae playing somewhat intermittently for the 3-0.
All right, that's okay. That still sounds like we can put up a show for like another couple rounds if things go the way that they're supposed to. Let's hope that we don't have problems going forward.
Yep.
Okay.
So, enlighten us. Last season we had a new technology in terms of how people signed up.
The technology
tell us what the results of that are.
Spreadsheets. That's a big thing that we added. So the big thing that we did, that we started doing, was starting to keep track to the results. Is in a little bit of a way that was a little bit more started, which was at all. We started keeping track of the people, how people kept going, what the results that people were posting were. We started going a little bit more, being a little bit more smart in terms of keeping track of who won the tournament, and as a result, we had a leaderboard at the end of the season, which you can see on stream right now, because that's what I was buying time for. I actually put the image on stream.
Fantastic. So tell me what this stuff means. I get wins, losses, win percentage. What are the QPs? So
QP might not be the word that we end up using it for. That was still a little bit of, but ideally the idea of that we had this vague idea of running an end of season like playoff championship, which we didn't do because we had to close up the season a little bit faster than we expected, but also it was a little shorter than we thought. But and those were going to be the qualifications point towards it. You get qualifications point for just showing up, because we value our players actually being there week in and week out. You get qualifications point for winning matches in a Sunday tournament, and you get qualifications point for actually winning a Sunday tournament. Those are pretty much the things that will get you. So you are rewarded for being a regular. You are also rewarded for and in fact you can see that our ultimate winner for the season was Tulip, which is the person that also showed up at most events. We had obviously showing up also gives you an opportunity to get more wins, but the other thing that is neat is that we have a lot of people that try to show up with non-conventional decks.
Lists?
Yeah, so we want
Hello?
Yeah, so no, that, can you hear me?
Yeah,
sorry about that. Basically, we want people incentive to, like, look, just show up with a deck, even if it's not the best deck in the world and you see, like, testing it. Just come, show us your deck, you'll get points just for that. And that's what we ended up doing. We had Tulip.
The tournament is not exactly the most competitive Highlander thing that's ever existed, which means that there are some really dirty decks that come out, and by dirty I mean like super like wacky backroom brews that were made at 1 a.m. the night
But on the
before.
other hand, you also have people like Windy that just show...
Store mid-range,
Store mid-range, yeah. But on the other hand, you also have people like Windy that just show up, that are just trying to refine the same deck week in, week out. They're just, I'm gonna show up with blue-red spells, that's the deck I have, that's just what I'm gonna do, and that's the only thing I'm gonna play in every week. I'm just refining this list. This is just what I'm interested in doing, and you see that, for example, their consistency is definitely rewarded in their results. They finished their season third. Even being able to show up to like significantly fewer events than they have, but their win percentage is the highest that we have had across the whole season.
Yeah. Oh, and it's important to note that Windy has shaped the meta. Like, the fact that he plays a blue-red spells list every single week, and the list is good every single week, and he's, like, a pretty confident pilot, means that, like, to play a combo list, you just have to dodge Windy. And it's not always entirely possible, considering that he does really well every week. And so if you are on a combo list and you're 2-0, chances are, like,
you get winded in the final and just get demolished. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's actually been an issue. That's part of the reason why, like, you know, Windy's deck is a deck that is set up in such a way that it just has game against most things. Like, it's very rare that you just.
I can say from personal experience, being a red-green aggro pilot, he does just lose to red-green aggro.
I mean, he does have his bad matchups, for sure. But it's not like it has matchups that are like 80-20. Like, he loses to red-green aggro, but maybe that's like 60-40 for red-green aggro.
It's like 60-40, really. He loses to mono-red like 70-30.
Yeah, mono-red strikes me as the matchup that would be the worst for it, because you're trying... his deck is trying to go fast and be tricky, and mono-red is like, I don't care, I'm just gonna go fast.
Just gonna go faster than you. Yeah, especially with more and more tools like Light Up the Stage and Abbot of Carol Keep, like, ways for mono-red to
just not peter
use more mana to get more advantage while still dealing a ton of damage sucks for their opponents.
Yeah, it's the fact it's just a way to like gain reach without having to sacrifice the early game, right? Like that's the thing that that's just the problem. That's just the problem that mono red often has, which is like, oh, I'm gonna do my thing, and if I at the end of when I am done my thing, you're still alive. Well, what am I gonna do? Probably lose.
I guess I lose, right?
Yeah. But these are ways to make sure that you can keep doing your thing for longer without having to sacrifice speed, because they're very cheap or keep applying pressure. And yeah, that's just it. That's just how mono red can keep pressure for longer now, and which makes it an even scary deck.
But mono red has been one of the top 8 decks in the format for years and years and years, right? Like, this is not the first time that mono red has been good. It's been good.
Mono red has always been good.
It just keeps getting better. Like, they just keep printing good red cards. Like, Skewer the Critics is a great card.
Yeah, that is, I feel, kind of actually a problem with, like... It's not as big of a problem as Canadian Highlander. I think it is possible that it will be eventually, but it's definitely not a problem yet. But it definitely is something that is a bit of a problem in a format, for example, like Modern, where Wizards keep printing great aggressive proactive cards, and there is just no good reactive control tools that keep getting printed. Like, there's a few that happen here and there, but like, we haven't had a truly great counter spell in 15 years? Like, when was the last... No, actually, we haven't had a truly, like, okay. That's not true. We have had Cryptic Command, we have had Mystic Conflict. These are clearly awesome cards. We have Disallow. These are great cards, but what the control decks need is not more powerful interaction, it's more cheap interaction. What we need is, like, a second Force of Will to put in our deck. What we need is a second, like, a third counterspell to put in our deck. Possibly that isn't pointed, like the second counterspell is. and that is and by that I mean the card counterspell, and that is the issue that that control decks I think are gonna be having in the future. That like this cheap answer, like the aggressive deck, the proactive deck becomes faster and faster, and the reactive decks just their tools are not becoming faster. At least the tools to interact with the stock. Removal spell is we do get great removal spells here and there, but the removal is it doesn't do everything that you need to do.
Unfortunately, like mono blue has not gotten a lot of really good control answers recently. A lot of good control decks are 3-color because the proactive answers, the like you play a thing and I kill it answers, are getting better and better and better. And the ability to play those is what's keeping control alive. But like the fact that so many good creatures nowadays are Mold Drifters instead of Baneslayers means that not having stack interaction, your control deck is going to lose overall. Because your opponent plays like
the problem
literal actual Mold Drifter and you path it, they still drew 2 cards.
Like the problem is that a lot of creatures nowadays are Baneslayers with the Mold Drifter ability. Like a lot of the cards that see like tournament play that come out in the new sets are cards that are not really sacrificing a whole lot in terms of power and stats for their like they're not sacrificing a lot in terms of power and stats for their ability to not just die to Doomblade, essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing is, a lot of the Mold Drifters, or a lot of the Baneslayers in the format that are like proper, I play this big thing, it doesn't have a line of text where I gain advantage when it enters the battlefield, but it's just huge. A lot of those cards now just cost $1 million. There was a time when playing a 2-mana 3/3 was just like good. Like Zertog Goblin in the new set is a 2-mana 2/2 with Riot, which means it can enter with haste or a counter.
Yep.
So there's just like a 2-mana 3/3.
And that card, or when you need it, it's what's the name of 2/2 haste? Something Goblin.
Oh yeah, it was from what's it called? Alara Block.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it can be. It's a split card between those two, but I'm assuming it's a 3/3 most of the time, right?
And unfortunately, because a lot of the proactive answers have gotten much better, just playing a 2-mana Baneslayer-y creature, just like a creature with good stats and abilities, doesn't get you very far. Because you really need that card to generate advantage over time, or generate advantage all at once.
I'm assuming that the idea behind the card like that is that you play one, you don't get anywhere. But if you're playing, if you play like 4 over the course of the first 3 turns, one of them is gonna stick.
Yeah, it's. I don't think necessarily that it is a bad change overall for Magic, but it should be noted that blue decks have not gotten a good stack reactive answer that can do something against Baneslayer creatures.
Well, okay, that's
lot of time.
That's not true. We have gotten some good interaction cards. Again, we have had Mystic Confluence not too long ago. We have had the card like Disallow recently, or cards like Ionize. These are good cards.
Those cost 3.
But that's my problem. Like, we are getting cards that are good in the sense that they are powerful, but we need cards that are good in the sense that they are efficient, and that's the type of card that we're not getting anymore.
Yeah.
Is the issue.
Eventually, we'll see that effect on this format, but because we have access to vintage finalists.
It's definitely not there yet. It's definitely like, I, as a control player, would just love to be able to put a second Force of Will in my deck. Like, that is definitely something that because that would also mean that I am a lot more free to tap out, because it makes it more likely that I can actually play my threat before turn like 15 and still have some sort of interaction up for the thing that you do while I'm tapped out.
What do you mean? There already is another Forcible. It's called Disrupting Shoal.
That doesn't do the thing I need it to do.
Another good Forcible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like, there's like part of negation too, but then like I need to be I needed to do the things that I needed to do with enough reliability.
They've shown a willingness to print more miscalculates, and I think the counter unless its controller pays 2 is a good effect that loses effectiveness later into the game at an acceptable rate. Like Mana Leak is often just counterspell for 1 and a blue. It's very rarely that Mana Leak becomes ineffective when it matters.
I've definitely considered the idea of putting Rune Snag in my deck and see if that how that works out.
Rune Snag,
Quench is
Miscalc,
the new one.
Quench is the new one.
Miscalc, the problem. I mean, Miscalc is.
Miscalc's a really good card.
I mean, the thing is that Miscalc is a card that has a problem. It solves the problem on the same card. It's like, what is the problem with the Quench, right? The problem with Quench is that if you have Quench on turn 8, it doesn't do anything anymore. Well, Miscalc is like, well, yeah, just send this card away, draw another card. It's fine. Like, the fact that Miscalc essentially has no fail case, or at the very least, like, its fail case is a lot better than the fail case on Quench, which is the card is in your hand and doesn't do anything, is so much better. And that's the problem with putting cards like Quench or Rune Snag. I don't know why I would put Rune Snag instead of Quench. Right? I mean, it technically is strictly better, right? But
it does have more text.
It does have more text, which is not relevant, but I think you still do it just for the hell of it. But that's the issue.
My friend has Rune Snag in his cube, and for those of you who don't know, cube is all Singleton. So all the text does not matter, but it is very wordy.
Most cubes are all Singleton, but almost all cubes are all Singleton. I've played cubes that aren't. I've played cubes that had so in Vintage Cube in old formats, you definitely sometimes have issues with some color pair that is like, oh, this I do not know how to make this playable. And like, for example, a friend of mine, the solution that they have, well, not a friend of mine, but like, I read this article and like about this person that were saying the solution that they had found to make like black aggressive decks playable was they played 4 Gravecrawlers in their cube.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't remember if it was Gravecrawler, but like there was some sort of like black aggressive creature. And like, look, these 2 aggressive creatures, I'm probably play 4 copies of each because I just need the density to make of enough 2-power 1 mana black creatures to make this type of thing playable. So that's just what we're gonna do. We're just gonna do that. Which is cube designers have some interesting ideas. I'm
trying to get into it. It's surprisingly difficult to do a cube right.
Yeah, I have had a Pauper cube for a number of years now. I think it's 5 or 6 years, and it takes a significant amount of time. I'm gonna make a small plug and post my cube list in the chat. Actually,
hell yeah.
But it takes a surprising amount of time to actually just get things right. I'm not sure I am now because I just don't get enough. I don't think I get enough reps, to be honest. So a lot of my changes are like educated guesses, but it's actually like it's a process.
Yeah, I definitely think that especially for a first draft of a cube. I mean, this applies to anywhere in Magic. For the first draft of anything, a deck, a cube, if you're writing like a set review or something like that, the first draft, there is testing to be done. Don't worry about getting it 100% right on your first draft. Things change, get it close, and then test it. And then get it closer and keep whittling until you get where you need to be.
A cube, a set, an episode, a weekly stream of a Sunday Canadian Highlander tournament. All of these things you usually require a little bit of adjustment in terms of making them work. We'll see. And then you do a second draft and it works better.
Yeah, and then you do a third draft and a fourth draft, and eventually you'll get, like, you know, in the limiting case, you'll have the best cube ever made.
Yeah, and eventually you get to a point where you're like, okay, I think I'm confident. I think this is good enough. I think I can show this to other people and like quote unquote publish it, or whatever the equivalent of that is. And then people are like,
this is garbage. Get rid of it.
Did charging monsters or make it an uncommon? And you're like, huh.
You're like, no comment. Just don't look at that.
Stalker Cleaver!
No. Get out like a Sharpie and paint in black over the silver in the uncommon symbol for charging monster sword.
No, you have to paint it gold. That card's nuts. The other problem. I lost track of what I was trying to say. Yeah, so the other cube story that I have heard, and I don't remember. I think I heard about this in like a podcast or something. Was that again because black and white are the two weakest color in vintage cube or in power cubes rather. It depends which one is the weak, depending on how fair the cube is. The more fair the cube is, the better white gets. The more unfair the cube is, the better black gets, because the good black cards are good at being unfair. Cards like Necroporents, Yawgmoth's Will, that sort of dark creature, right?
Bobbling Muck. Rain of Filth.
Rain of Filth is a good one. Bubbling Muck a little bit less.
I don't make fun of Bubbling Muck. That card's great.
I mean, I think that card's fine. It's just that it's so much like all of the good cards that untap your lands have islands, have blue mana symbols in their casting cost.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's the issue there. Either way, my point is all of these. But either way, this person was trying to make black-white work. It was like, I want people to be able to play a black-white deck in my cube because they can't right now. So his solution to that was he added the type Rebel to a bunch of cards.
Did he just like penciled it in?
I mean, I think he printed proxies with the Rebel type, but
that's incredible.
So, for example, Oblivion Ring was a Rebel.
What?
Yeah, so like you could you put Rebel searches in your deck. Now they became these very powerful tutors that could find Oblivion Rings and stuff.
That's very funny.
Yeah, I know. That's just awesome, though.
Yeah, no, that's super sweet. Yeah, I'm having a problem with the cube that I'm working on. I guess we're just gonna talk about cube until Pat Nurovi's game finishes.
It is the format the most similar to Canadian Highlander, so we got that's the excuse I'm using.
I'm having a problem in my cube where black has a zombie sub-theme.
Just for reference, what type?
Yeah, for reference, it's a 360 card, so archetypes are more focused. All old border, all uncommon cube.
Okay, so it's old border, all uncommon. Okay.
Yeah.
For reference, I guess.
Reference.
Yeah. The cube I posted earlier is 540 all cards that are legally MTGO popper. So that's a restriction I'm working with. It's also unbelievably swaggy at this point. I think like 75-ish% of the cards are foil at this point. It's kind of insane. Either way, yeah. Back to your cube.
Yeah. So for reference, the card pool for only old border, only uncommons is incredibly small. Each color only has about 400 cards.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be able to reach to make like a 540 cube out of those, right? Just not enough good cards.
Never. You just don't have enough cards. And by my estimate, there are only about 275 of those cards don't read hate target color or hate target strategy. There are so many old cards that are like counter target blue spell, draw 6 cards or something stupid. Like there's a
response.
Yeah, something like Teferi's response is so dumb. 1 in a blue, counter target spell or ability that targets a land you control, draw a card.
Draw 2 cards.
Draw 2 cards.
Yeah, it draws 2.
There's a card that's just like 2 and a black, destroy target white or green creature, draw a card. So like, you know, can't really put those in there. But it's coming along quite nicely. There are actually some really cool limited uncommons from Old Border. However, here's the problem that I'm coming up against. Black has a zombie subtheme. The zombie subtheme is quite well supported. So if you guys know about Goblin Ringleader, there's a zombie ringleader.
Yeah. That's also the printed ringleaders for each creature. Is there like an elvish one as well?
There's a printed ringleader for wizards, zombies, soldiers, goblins, and elves.
Yep.
And there's also Brass Herald, Brass Herald's a herald for everything. So there's also heralds. So that's like Goblin Ringleader, and then there's Goblin War Leader, and there's one of those for each of the colors. Anyway,
the zombie one is actually really powerful. It gives all zombies +2/+1.
+2/+1, which is insane, including
it's really
itself.
Good. Yeah.
But here's my issue. A lot of cards are going into the zombies archetype that have been oracled to be zombies, but have never been reprinted as zombies. I don't know what to do. Do I just write in zombie on the text box? That feels rude.
So, it depends, honestly, on how much... I think that it depends on, if you're planning to have, swag in your cube, like if you want, foils and stuff. If that's not on the plan, that's definitely something you can do. I would not take that approach on my cube because I want to foil it out and I don't... Right. Even if it's all commons, right? There are some cards in my cube, I have a foil Mana Leak in my cube, which is, the Old Border Arena printing. That costs $40.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
just because...
By the time I'm done, I'm gonna have invocations in this thing, right? I'm getting a cup-size invocation to put in my cube.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty, except for the fact I need to pay $40 for it, which I'm trying really hard to, not actually pay actual money. I want to use store credit, which I have saved in multiple stores, but either way.
Because you have a judging gig.
Well, I also am very aggressively sell cards that I'm not using to Card Kingdom and the like. We're not sponsored by Card Kingdom, by the way. It's just so you know. But Card Kingdom, if you're listening to us,
yeah, from Seattle to the world. I know your actual tagline.
Either way,
it's not a kingdom of cards, I promise.
Jokes aside, what am I trying to say? Oh yeah, if you are trying to, I think that another thing that you could do is just write on the sleeve, or put a piece of put in a piece of thing inside the sleeve that says this card is a zombie on the bottom maybe.
Yeah. That's a good idea. It's like write on a slip of paper and then just slip it into place.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, I think that works.
You could add some sort, if you don't want to be as invasive, you could add some sort of how so I think that you could do, and this is might be a little bit more out of the thing, and it might affect the playability, but you know how in Torment the flashback cards had the little gravestone thingy to identify, hey, this card interacts with the graveyard. Not just a flashback card. Every card that had graveyard interactions, so that did things while it was in your graveyard, had the gravestone thingy. You just have something like that sharpened in by their name that indicates this card has relevant types that are not printed on this card, and then you have a master list somewhere that people can consult.
Yeah. I think that might work too. I don't know.
It depends.
We'll see.
That really depends on how you want to make things if you are playing always with the same people, that works out because eventually people are gonna learn the types that are relevant. If you are playing against many different people, you don't want the draft to stop every 3 seconds because somebody has to look up the master list, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that one of the other options is just play as printed. there are enough zombies that were printed as zombies then to make the archetype work.
I don't know how much I like that. Zenimi in chat also makes the point. If you're double sleeving, probably writing on the inner sleeve is the cleanest solution.
I mean, that's genius, obviously.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're double sleeving. But if then
I would have to actually double sleeve it, and that's 360 cards to double sleeve.
I've flirted with the idea of double sleeve in my own cube, and that's 540. Sometimes you have to do it. Like, when I start having cards that are like crazy dumb in my cube, like eventually I want to get a days in my cube, right? Like a foil days. Right? Currently I have just a normal pack one. My options for foil days are I can get a Nemesis pack foil, and that's $80, or I can get an Invocation, which is $60.
How is it possible that the Invocation special printing is less expensive than the pack foil?
I think that for the first few sets that had foils, Nemesis. So the first set to ever had foil was Urza's hammer, and
the first Urza's set.
No, the second Urza's set.
The second Urza's
set? Urza's gears did not have foil.
Urza's gears.
Yeah, Urza's hammer and Urza's bottle did. Yeah, I mean, all of the sets from that era are Urza's something. It's Urza's gears, Urza's bottle, Urza's hammer, Urza's rocks is prophecy, Urza's bridge is Exodus, Urza's door is stronghold.
Urza's door.
Yeah, it's Urza's door.
Did you see that? There was a post on the r/Magic TCG, which is not exactly the best community, but is a community. There was a post that was like, a wife was sorting her husband's cards, but she didn't play Magic, so she was just sorting it by the color of the set symbol and the shape of the set symbol. So she didn't know what the names of all the sets were. So she just wrote like hammer, bottle, like gateway on the stacks. It was really funny.
Nice.
So for update on Pat Produsco versus Nurovi, Nurovi has produced a Geist of Saint Draft, which is beating Pat down over about 100 turns.
Okay.
Pat is 1, Nurovi is 0.
Okay.
We're gonna go to a game 3.
Yeah, I'm sad that we can't broadcast these games, but you have seen how it worked out when we were. The game just lagged to a crawl. Wait, you're in the game right now, and it's not lagging?
It doesn't look like it. Nurovi says it's fine, but I wouldn't risk it.
I mean, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna try to see what happens if I log in, honestly.
I think Seismic should maybe, take a pass.
I'm skedaddling.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but...
Yeah, maybe you're just the harbinger of death.
That's not what I was going through. That's not what I was going for, but... let's go back to a live screen. Alright.
Does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about while we're getting this?
Alright.
We've talked about Cube for 100 years. Does anybody else have a Cube?
Okay, we're going actually. I think I see game actions that are being taken at a reasonable pace. You would have told me that you were watching the game and things were fine. I would have tried again.
Well, I just started.
Okay, that's fine.
Alright, Pat is remanding his own Inquisition to draw an extra card. He can Ghastly Demise.
Okay. No, yeah.
Okay.
Pat has considered.
Yes. So that puts us 1-1.
Yeah. Alright. Let's watch game 3.
Sadly, the card was a water grave.
Yeah. Instead of anything meaningful, it was a watery grave.
Alrighty, so, we're off to the races with these lands from Ravnica Legions that don't show up. Sadly, I think that this is Pat. I think Pat's gonna have to mulligan. He was on a 5-lander.
Yeah.
Keeps no. This 6 is no lands. I think he has to go away too. On the other hand, Nurovi is on his second 6, and this looks like a keep. A couple of white lands.
Nurovi's on two land Relic Seeker here, which is great.
Yeah, which is fine. This Tombstalker is like a little far away, but it's gonna happen eventually. Yeah. Pat's down to 4 cards.
Ooh,
I
that's
think
bad.
this is a keep. I think you have to Mishra's Bubble. You have Pat's.
Pat's not looking at a good 4 here, to be honest with you.
Yeah. There is
It's
a
not-
threshold where you
No,
just
I
stop.
think if the bubble, like if he finds lands between his draw step and bubble, I think that he can brainstorm into more stuff, and he's not favored obviously, but
Mishra's Bobble here.
So I know that there is a way to format your deck so that you can pick Vintage as a format and Canadian Highlander 2-player duel as the type of game.
Yeah, you need to pick Vintage for the deck format.
Yeah,
and
for the
Canada
format.
2-player duel for
the match format, and
Yeah.
that works out, and that also explains why we're finding stuff.
Pat's gonna Mishra's Bobble. We don't actually get to see what Pat sees off this Mishra's Bobble, unfortunately.
Yeah. But if it's a land, I don't think he's completely out of the game. He's got this brainstorm to find stuff. He's got this mana leak as interact. Like, if these bubble find lands, which
All right, Pat's
didn't,
gonna concede.
Yeah. Which he didn't.
Looked at
but,
his own top and presumably did not see a land.
Yeah. If it was a land, I think that brainstorm find more lands, and then we can go. Okay.
All right, so let me get the other pairings up. Nurovi's gonna take it 2-1 on there. Done. Okay.
Yeah, that was not a great game 3.
So.
All right, so let's see what the next round is gonna be. Let's get this underway.
Yeah, let me type faster.
You should just mash your hands on the keyboard and then say "I mean." And I think that the way it works out, based on the movies that I watch, is that works to do anything on a computer.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And so
got it.
Now matches are up.
Alrighty, so what are the matches for this new? What are the new matches for round 2?
We have Tulip versus Seismic Lawns, Tenebrae versus Nurovi, and Pat versus Nefola.
Alright, so okay, Nef is on Doomsday, right? So we got Doomsday versus Shadow. Esper midrange versus Gruul aggro. And what's the last matchup?
And the last matchup is Pat versus Nefola.
Sorry, the second matchup. Sorry, I already mentioned
Tenebrae versus Nurovi. Tenebrae's on the combo list, and Nurovi's on Esper midrange.
Okay.
So who do you want to watch?
I don't know. So we would watch. We would take a look at Pat and Nef. That we get to watch the Doomsday again.
Nef is not on Doomsday. Kara was on Doomsday.
Oh, Kara was on Doomsday. I am sorry.
Yeah. Nef is on midrange, actually.
Yeah, okay.
For the first time ever, Nefola is not taking a deck to the tournament that is just bad.
That's rude.
No, Nefola, their reputation precedes them. They make a lot of lists that are extremely spicy.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's rude.
Sometimes too spicy.
Yeah, no, I get you there. It's their deck like they have great ideas. The problem is that honestly, the problem that I see is that because they're changing lists so frequently, they like they have some ideas that are good and some ideas that aren't good, but then they don't. They only run them for like a week, right? So like they don't. What are we watching?
You want to watch Tulip versus Seismic once?
Sure, let's do that.
It seems reasonable. We haven't seen either of those players play yet.
Yeah.
I love red green aggro, so
I like the plan.
So Tulip leads on Verdant Catacombs into Mox Ruby. He pretty much has two options here. He can either fetch Taiga, Mox Ruby, and Ash Zealot. He can't do the other one because that is a Mox Ruby, not a Mox Emerald. So that's pretty much the only plan is Taiga, Mox Ruby, Ash Zealot.
We're gonna go live in a second as soon as I got the graphics right.
Seismic Lawns is playing Warrior Midrange, 4-color Warrior Midrange.
Whoa, you would have told me that. They would have been like, let's just watch that immediately.
It's highly rad. So they've got Chief of the Edge in hand and Thorn Lieutenant. Thorn Lieutenant matches up very well against this Ash Zealot. Ash Zealot might have first strike, but it still only has 2 power.
I'm surprised that the water list is mid-range and not aggro, honestly.
It might be sort of a Basta-esque thing, but they have some 4s and I think maybe 1 5.
Right.
So
we're finally live. I got all of the things in order.
Yep.
I'm trying to
is gonna get.
I'm not being very good at making sure that the graphics is up, but thankfully now that I have another co-host to fill the air and say things, I can actually make sure that we have a graphics that says things.
I'm very good at saying words.
Yeah, no. When I was running things by myself, that was actually an issue that I was like, can't
not there yet.
Things. Because I need to keep talking so that nobody explodes. Oh, wait, that's a different game.
So
we're not sponsored by Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, but Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. You're listening to us. Tweet at us. Do we have a Twitter, actually? I think I remember making one.
I don't know. To get back to the game here. Seismic Lawns has made the right play and played Thorn Lieutenant, which matches up good against Ash Zealot. But Tulip has drawn both Gorklan Rampager and Collision Colossus, which essentially read like ultimate Searing Blood. Just kill your creature if you happen to block mine, or what's it called?
So the 2 modes are essentially Plummet and
right. But
are essentially Plummet and Colossal Might. Those are the 2.
He has +2 effects that give +X, and trample.
Yeah, but it's +4, +2, and trample for 2 men.
Yeah,
which is exactly.
And +4 and trample for Gorklan Rampager.
Yeah.
Tulip opts for the safer play of Rancor Ash Zealot.
Rancor is really good. You know what we should look into doing for the future? I know that there is a bot that you can put in your chat, and people can use it to fetch cards in Twitch chat, and we should probably do that so that when
the exclamation mark card, yeah.
Yeah. So that when we need to talk about a card, we can just drop that, and we don't need to read the entire oracle text. Because that sounds pretty hype. I'm just gonna say that, just not having to read the entire oracle text on a head. Yeah, I think Ravnica Legends is not downloaded correctly. I'm gonna need to fix it before next week. I'm sorry about that.
Seismic Lawns has a problem here.
Is the problem that his opponent has a 4/2 first strike trample? Because that sounds like a problem.
Yeah, he has no way to interact with this Ash Zealot right now. No way to kill it. And Tulip has essentially 2 Boros Charms in hand, in the form of Gorklan Rampager and Collision Colossus.
Yeah.
As well as Karisev.
I don't like this Golgari Charm. I don't like this Chromatic Lantern. Golgari Charm I like. Golgari Charm can actually...
Lantern is strange here.
Yeah, I think it's a concession. Like, if your proactive deck has mana that is so bad that you need to run Chromatic Lantern to make the mana work, you need to cut colors. Like, this is just an unacceptable card to have in your proactive deck. Just 3 mana for 3 color for 1 mana is just not enough.
Yeah, so Tulip has a couple options here. If he attacks with his Ashlow and uses Collision Colossus, that's 8 total damage. If Seismic Lance doesn't block. If Seismic Lance does block, it's only 6.
But then it's a chump? I don't think Seismic Lance can block, right? Like,
Seismic Lance doesn't really have the opportunity to block. And so that puts Tulip into a position where, with Gorkland Rampager in hand, he can, like, next turn... So if this turn, if he Collision Colossuses, next turn he can Gorkland Rampager and attack, and there's no block that Seismic Lance can make that will leave him alive. If Tulip draws a land and he plays on Crop Crasher, the game is just over at that point.
The game just stands on the spot. I mean, I think this game is over regardless, but... Okay, decides not to go for it. Decides to develop
Tulip
his buttons.
opting for Karizev is...
Which I think is actually okay.
I think it's sort of a mistake here, to be honest with you.
I mean...
You need... Essentially, playing Karizev here slows your clock by 1 turn. And there's just no reason to do that.
No, the reason is that it's more resilient, right? Like, all of your... You don't know that Seismic Lance has nothing in hand. If you go for the Colossus play and Seismic Lance going like, cool, Fatal Push.
Yeah, if Seismic Lance goes cool, Fatal Push, then you still have Rancor in hand, and you don't lose the fact that you control a Karizev, you know?
No, but you didn't play the Karizev because you played the Colossus instead.
I agree, but I think the possibility that Seismic Lance goes for a play here that, like, on this turn, with more mana, that kills you is much... Like, waiting for an extra turn for Seismic to develop their mana, if you think this is mid-range, is bad. Like, really bad.
Yeah, but...
I mean, Seismic is just dead here regardless.
Yeah, I think Tulip's play is not as bad as you make it sound, because I think it's a play that, like, is better, is like a more stable, it's a play where it's less likely that you finish the game as fast, but it's more likely that you win the game. Whereas the other play is a play that if you win the game, you'll win it faster, but you lose to more things. And Tulip
it's definitely a gamble.
Tulip is so far ahead.
Tulip is very far ahead, and I think that, like, pretty much no matter what he does here is not fatally wrong.
Like, I think that Tulip is so far ahead that he's thinking at this point is, I just have to worry about not losing this game. So I'm going to take conservative plays that are going to result in me losing the game fewer times. And he's just going to get paid off it because he's just going to win this turn.
To be fair to Tulip...
no, I guess that the Rancor can get disenchanted by Golgari Charm?
Seeing a play like play Chief of the Edge, attack with my Thorn Lieutenant out of Seismic Lance instead of leaving up potential chump blockers means that...
10. So Tulip is not dead here. He needs to give -1/-1 to all creatures. And that results in him taking only 5 damage?
Yeah.
Because disenchanting the Rancor is not enough. He still takes Exaxes if he disenchants the Rancor. But if he goes to give -1/-1 to all creatures. Honestly, if I was Lance, without knowing the Crop Crasher, I think I like the idea of trying to set up a regenerate all creatures play. I guess that's actually not good. Never mind, I changed my mind. Because of the first deck on the Ashlow just makes it awful.
I think the really tough part about not playing Collision Colossus last turn is that what you saw out of Seismic Lance was play Chief of the Edge and attack, as opposed to play Chief of the Edge and go for, you know, say a double block the turn afterwards, which we know would have been very bad. But
now, Lance is the draw step here.
Seeing the attack out of Lance makes it such that
Lance didn't get it. Lance drew a plains for his turn, so he does that. I think like if his draw step was good, this could have been like because the rest is gonna take away.
Well, Thorn Lieutenant can pump.
He doesn't have enough mana. It's 6 to pump. He has 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he drew the planes though.
Yeah, but then he doesn't get to duress,
6,
which means the
that's
Collision
7, 8,
Colossus.
9,
I guess that. Yeah, I guess that he.
I mean, Lance had it if he had a land drop that turn.
Oh, he just attack and win the game. I guess winning the game is good.
He attacked for 3, 6, and then pumped for 4 more.
Yeah, I guess winning the game is good.
Yeah, I think if
wait, didn't he just win? He had the land drop. He had the 6 mana. Yeah, but couldn't he have just won?
Yes.
He had the mana for it, right?
Yeah, he missed lethal there.
Wow, I did not realize that.
I mean, unless he didn't have a land drop. If he
just
played that. Here's the thing: unless he had, it's possible that I missed it and he had just played the City of Brass that turn. But if he had not just played the City of Brass that turn, he just missed lethal.
No. His draw step was plays.
Right, but if he had in hand.
No. His hand was duress. That was his hand.
Just duress. So yeah, he missed lethal there, which sucks. But
yeah, okay. We're gonna delight in telling them at the end of the game.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know that you missed lethal game 1? You had the game 1.
Well, that's the reason that I think going for the play of, Collision Colossus, and then Gorgland Rampager is better because what you saw out of your opponent was
because you think that your opponent can raise you. Yeah.
Play a creature with a pump spell. Play an aggressive creature, and then just kind of develop their mana. And so giving Seismic Lawns the extra turn, which would have let them get there with pumping the Thorn Lieutenant, meant that you were dead in a lot more cases than playing the Colossus.
I'll be honest, I didn't actually even consider the ability of how does Lance win this game. I was just thinking, how does he not lose this game? And there were a few ways to do it, but that was wild.
Yeah. Have you ever read that old Magic article, Who's the Beatdown?
I have.
Yeah. I think this is one of the situations where Tulip misread that he was actually
the control.
He was actually the beatdown in that matchup, but he thought he was the control, which is why he was playing out more creatures and going wider.
No, I think that was like.
I honestly think the play was just Boros charm them twice. Yeah. And at that point, if they're not dead, then if you haven't drawn a land, you have a bunch of gas in hand.
That plays
and then you can play
so bad in the face of any removal spell.
Right, but the play that he did make is really bad in the face of playing more lands and then just attacking you over and over again with a 3-power creature that you can never block. And then pump my Thorn Lieutenant and you die. Right? Like, well, you can't bolt Thorn Lieutenant and be positive on... Like, you're positive on life in that scenario, but you're not, like... I don't know. I think that's a really tough choice.
Yeah. Lance had a great draw on his turn, by the way. Swamp.
Yeah, Lance draws...
Swamp was the draw on his last turn. He had only the Savannah in hand, because I think he got Strip Mine on the first turn, which means that he got to continue developing this board. Now he has this Green Flare, which is gonna do some stuff. Golgari Charm can kill the Eidolon, or Abrade it. Those are both options. I'm surprised to see Civic Wayfinder. That's I guess this is. No, I guess this is just more mid-range than I thought. That's fine.
Yeah.
If he draws... so what is he gonna do this turn? I guess he can trade his Green Flare for, I don't know, the Great Travel.
Yeah, but he knows that Tulip doesn't want to block here, and if Tulip does block, that's great.
No, I know. That's why I think it's a good attack, because he's like, look, I'm gonna attack you, want to trade, that's fine by me.
Tulip does have an incentive to block here, because he knows that Grimflayer is going to be able to find Seismic Lawns, the lands that he didn't necessarily have before.
Yeah, I mean, he has a 3 visits and the Civic Wayfinder. There are 2 fine lands, but that makes like 3 visits is painful to cast with Eidolon the Great Rebel on the stack.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't think, like, if I am Seismic, I'm not super happy that I have to Golgari Charm the Eidolon, because I think the -1/-1 mode on Golgari Charm has a chance of being awesome here.
I totally agree, but I
Decides
think
to
you
3
don't...
visits. Wow,
That's
okay. So he binned 2 out of 3 cards, left on top, and then cast 3 visits.
Been 1 out of 3 cards, but the other 2 on top, and 3 visits.
But then he's shuffling his library?
There's kind of no reason not to put all 3 into the graveyard for Grimflayer.
Unless, okay, no, there is a reason, which is like, one of the cards that you are seeing is so good that it needs to be on your library so that you can draw it. I don't know if Seismic has stuff like Tassigor in his list.
I think it's just more important for Grimflayer to be a 4/4.
Oh no, I mean, I agree with you. I'm just saying that,
especially in this matchup.
Maybe those cards where other cards that are like, oh, it's another land that they already have, and it's another creature that they already have, right? But I mean, I agree with you. I'm not.
So Tulip has 2 choices.
Especially like the thing that I don't understand is what was so like. Did they really find the 2 cards that were that important?
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, okay.
I just think he didn't think about the shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tulip had 2 options here. He could either play Boggart Ram Gang or Burning Tree Shaman, which is a slower...
I like Boggart Ram Gang.
Or he could play Strangleroot Geist or Tarmogoyf into light up a stage.
I think I like the Ram Gang plan just because that uses your mana more efficiently, and next turn you can double spell. Next time you can go Goyf, Strangleroot Geist.
Here's the thing. If there was a consideration for playing Burning Tree Shaman, he should have just played Goyf Light Up, because Goyf is going to be the same size as Burning Tree Shaman, and the second ability isn't that meaningful.
Yeah.
Golgari Charms to kill Eidolon.
That's pretty heads up. I am a fan.
That's pretty sweet.
That's the Delirium though, right? Land, sorcery, creature, instant. So Grimflayer now is a 4/4.
Goblin Freerunner. This card is so sweet. It's a 3/2 with Menace for 2, but you have to have cast another card this turn.
Oh, I see.
I love Surge. Surge is, like, by far my favorite mechanic in the whole game.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not... I guess that we all have, like, probably my favorite mechanic in the entire game of Magic is Extort. So, like, we all have a weird... look.
Preferences?
I do not want to attack with my creatures. That is, like... I don't even want to have creatures in general, but attacking them is just for plebs. I'm just, like, not interested in doing any of that. I just want to, like, sit down, my creature is gonna be untapped so they can block, that's fine. And then I am going to just slowly and surely drain you as I pad my life total. And that's awful in any set that is not a limited set, but in limited it works out sometimes.
Yeah.
You can actually see, like, the way that my cube is set up, I think legit that the card Syndic of Tides might be one of the best cards in the whole cube. Because it's like...
Do you have is Sentinel the Eternal Watch in common?
No, that's an uncommon. That's the guy that taps a guy every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an uncommon.
That card's real annoying.
Oh, it's really powerful.
So again, this is one of those who's the beatdown situations. I think Tulip
is not the beatdown in this scenario.
Yeah, I think Tulip has to correctly identify that he's the control here before he just dies.
Which is bad for him.
Dying is bad, yeah.
No, I mean, I think
being
the control is bad for him because he's not well set up for that. It's good that this Goyf is gonna be big enough to block the Grimflayer.
Tulip is making the right choice by lighting up the stage here. If he finds a fetch land, he can non-renegade as a 2/1.
Oh yeah,
or a 2/3.
But the fetch.
Regardless, the play here is.
He can still cast Experiment 1 and Goyf, so that part's pretty good.
Yeah. It's really tough.
Goyf can block the Green Flare. Goyf is gonna be a 5/6.
Goyf is gonna be a 5/6, which is almost impossible for Lons to kill here.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have an option. Experiment 1 gets a counter. At this point, if Tulip draws a removal spell,
do you just slam the Green Flare into the Goyf and then upgrade the Goyf here?
Yes. If you're Seismic Lons, because you're definitely the beatdown. You know you're the beatdown. And if you I assumed he Grimflayer to land to the top, but he didn't, so that kind of changes the math here. Yeah. If he had Grimflayer to land to the top, you Chungus Grimflayer into Tarmogoyf.
I think Lons agrees with you. I think Lons thinks that he is the control. Because I think that the Grimflayer is just gonna stay back here. Which I don't think is necessarily wrong. I'm not sure. But I think that what I would have done here was probably cast Civic Wayfinder to find another white source and use that to cast the Mardu War Reaper. Oh, I just want to like drop the free runner. That makes sense.
This is a really tough choice.
Oh, now there's no enchantments in the graveyard, so Goyf is a 5/4/5. Oh, he can use the War Reaper to shrink the Goyf. This is hilarious. Because now there's gonna come in a sorcerer in the graveyard either. The Goyf's gonna be a 3/4, and now the Graveyard gets free to swing. Well,
there are 2 sorceries in the graveyard, 3 visits.
No, but there's not
gonna
exile
be Golgari Charm to take out all the instants.
So there's only 1 instant. Okay.
Yeah, but
I
think
the Bloodchin Rager. I don't know.
If he exiles the instant here, Goyf becomes a 3/4. He swings in with Grimflayer. Tulip has we swing back over to Tulip. Tulip has like no good options. And then...
Well, the thing is that if this develops into a board stall, right, where nobody can swing, Tulip has advantage because he has more stuff. Like, eventually he's going to have enough Burn Spell to deal 10 damage to the face. And he also has, like, plays that are just, I'm just going to attack with my dude and Colossus it, right?
So here's the thing with Tulip's list. He's not playing that much burn. He's playing mostly just big creatures. I'm with him on this one. I think Red Green Aggro is better built as a bunch of big creatures, but regardless, that's where he's at on that.
No, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah. This is a really rough spot to be MrTulip.
Yeah. Tulip is also flooding a little bit, which doesn't help, but these random 2/1s that don't carry it anymore.
I think you swing in with Boggart Ramgang. Because if your opponent blocks with the Grimflayer, your Ramgang dies, their Grimflayer gets small, you play Narm Renegade for Revolt, and Burning Tree Shaman.
Why does the Grimflayer get small?
Because Boggart Ramgang has Wither.
It has Wither. Wow, okay.
Yeah. So Grimflayer becomes a 1/1.
Becomes a 1/1, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have good blocks for Goblin Freerunner and Mardu
But I think that maybe if he attacks with the Boggart Ramgang, you just trade it for the Freerunner, right? Like,
you can just not block. If his opponent doesn't block, he still has good blocks.
I don't think that's correct. I think the correct play is I trade my Freerunner for my Ramgang because my Green Flare is keeping all of your other guys at bay.
Not attacking with the Tarmogoyf here. That would be very silly.
Yeah, I think that now Seismic can double block the Tarmogoyf with Green Flare and Mardu War Reaper and block and trade the Ramgang for the Freerunner. And that ends up being basically the board still settles up well though. Like you're trading the Goyf for the you're basically end up trading the Goyf for the Flare, now that the experiment one. Okay. I actually think this attack is not bad.
I don't think it's that bad, no.
Because now, basically what's going to happen is that Seismic is going to be left with a Green Flare, and Tulip is going to be left with a Goyf and a Burning Tree Shaman? That's not bad.
You know, Tulip, I think, has correctly assessed that things have turned around. His opponent spending last turn, instead of... So Seismic had 2 options if he saw lands off of Grimflayer, which was put a land with Grimflayer on top.
Wait. Why did the experiment one have The experiment
2 counters on it.
Oh, it had 2 counters. Okay, I think.
So it can regenerate.
Yeah. No, I thought they only had 1. Yeah. Lots is taking a lot of damage here, and not eating any creature is pretty bad. I guess you're shrinking the experiment one.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that the experiment one only had 1 counter. Which makes this attack a lot worse for Tulip, but you know.
If Seismic Lawn's last turn had put a land on top, swung in with the Grimflayer, had it die to the Tarmogoyf, and then abrade your stuff correctly there, get rid of the Tarmogoyf, then he would be way ahead on board here and be able to remain the control player.
Yeah, I mean, Seismic Clones, I think, if he gets to develop everything that he has. If he throws a land here, he gets to cast... yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Now he gets to liberate the Green Wheel and also abrade something. And,
yeah, but what do you abrade, right?
I am probably abrading the Narnam Renegade.
I just think this is like... Suddenly things have become very bad for Seismic. When he plays this Green Wheel Liberator, he has to Mardu Will Reap the Golgari Charm away, so that there are no instants in the graveyard and Tarmogoyf becomes a 3/4.
Does he still have Delirium if he does that?
No.
The instant... No, yeah, he can't do that. Like...
Yeah, this is a really tough spot. I don't think Seismic can make it out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, you just you exile probably light up the stage if I were to guess.
Man, light up the stage is just insane. Tulip would have no experiment 1 and only 4 lands without light up here.
Mardu Warrior has also been really good actually. It has gained some life. It threatens to trade. I think actually this card has kind of impressed me.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
I think you will reap away the free runner and just get lands. Or get whatever creature and get life. You're just dead here, right?
Yeah, I mean, probably you worry the Ram Gang, right? You don't want to worry your stuff, if possible.
You can block at maximum here, 3, 4, and 3. And your opponent has 2 creatures with power 2. So you need to abrade one of them. And then when Tulip plays Strangler Geist, the game's over.
Yeah, okay. The Strangler Geist is gonna put the game away. But so you probably abrade the Renegade, and then you're threatening to...
Yeah.
You trade the Burning 3 for the Liberator. You trade your... you eat something with Green Flare, and the Warrip can jump in front of the Goyf. But yeah, I think that still ends up... and that way you take 4, I guess? Even with the other guy?
For the record, I think Tulip has played...
No, you're taking the experiment one, yeah.
Tulip has played this matchup really, really well. With what he saw off of Light Up the Stage.
Yeah, off of a hand that was not awesome, to be perfectly honest. Like, I think his hand was kind of clunky.
Drawing a mountain here is pretty clunk.
It's not the greatest. Yeah, Tulip has flooded pretty badly, but I think that's like...
You just play the Geist here and Jundum.
Yeah,
I mean, Seismic Lawns can't live if he doesn't block.
I don't think he can live either way, right? There is no... Like, he
has to abrade the Narnam.
Yeah, okay, so he abrades the Narnam, and then has to block all the creatures that are powered. They're not all chumps. The Green Wheel is gonna trade for the Burning 3. The Green Flare gets to shrink the Experiment 1, and the Warrip gets to jump in front of the Goyf.
Yeah.
So, okay, so he goes to 1.
Leaves Tulip with a really good board state, though.
Yeah, he does, but, you know, you do what you have to. You hope that you roll the Damnation that is not in your deck.
Yeah. To finish my thought from earlier, Tulip has piloted this really well. With seeing the extra 1-power creature and the extra land off of Light Up the Stage, Tulip correctly identified that he needed to go wide and not lose combats to Grimflayer.
Yeah.
And then turned the corner as soon as things were safe, and has now presented just like a terrible option for his opponent.
I don't know if maybe it's just that Warriors is not there as a tribe very much yet. There's been some cards in Seismic Clone's deck that have been like, this is like Civic Wayfinder is kind of a clunker, you know.
It is definitely somewhat of a clunker. I think Warriors is way closer than you'd think, though.
Yeah, no, it's closer than other tribes. I don't know if maybe Seismic Clones like has made choices that are not optimal, or maybe it's just a limitation of the Warrior tribe. I guess is the thing I'm trying to say. But like you're going 4 colors and to like have as much power as possible, but then you still have to put cards such as Civic Wayfinder in your deck.
Yeah, there's a surprisingly high number of just good creatures in Seismic Clone's list, and also stuff like Grand Warlord Rada.
Okay, so Lance does the block we expected him to.
Yeah.
He's gonna be left with just a green flare, which can swing for 4. Okay, real talk here. If Seismic Clones draws Boros Charm, he has just won this game.
I mean, yeah.
He just get to shove with the green flare, or like some other way of dealing 4 damage, right? Like,
I mean, like, I have bad news though.
It's not in his list.
Not in his list.
Well, I mean, some other way of dealing 4. It doesn't need to be exactly Boros Charm.
I think he has a haste creature.
I mean,
this.
let's see. Let's see what his draw is. Probably gonna be plains like last time, and then it's gonna still somehow be Mist Lethal.
Okay, that's a little rude. Not Grand Lord or Warlord Rada. Exactly, Samet, Voice of Dissent does it.
Ooh, Lightning Bolt! Lightning Bolt was the draw. He's 1 short of lethal.
God. 1 away? Is this real? Oh.
Oh, God. That is so brutal.
That's really heartbreaking, actually.
He
I mean, like,
lost the
not just
game
dead
that
here.
he had won in game 1, and now he's 1 short of lethal. These games have been insanely close.
You're not just dead here, is the thing. If you don't attack with Grimflayer and you play Civic Wayfinder can trade with Tattermunch Maniac. Wayfinder can block the Tarmogoyf, and you bolt bolt.
No, there is no way to take 0 damage.
Oh, yeah, no, that's everything.
There's 4 creatures, you're blocking 2 and killing 1. Trust me.
Yeah, damn.
That's
really rough.
That is this is something that, like, because my main way to play Magic at this point is just to play limited. I'm very used to reading boards where there's like 4 creatures on each side and be like, oh yeah, this is how it happens, and here you block here, and here you block here. Like there is no way that Seismic Clone survives here. He would.
Yeah, I just missed.
Actually, no, that doesn't work. So he would need to Civic Wayfinder somehow. Civic Wayfinder for Dryad Arbor, which doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Here's the thing: Seismic Lawns is playing some like real stinkers in his list to enable 4-color. Cryptolithrite, Prismatic Omen. We saw
the Lantern, Civic Wayfinder.
Civic Wayfinder. He's got Vanquisher's Banner in there. It's, I don't know. I don't think this build is optimal of Warriors.
Yeah, I think at this deck can do a little better than this, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe you need all of this stuff to make 4-color mana base work, but I can't believe that that's the case.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to imply that like it's not possible. I think that this deck is way closer than it looks.
Okay,
but the build in specific is a little strange.
Hi, Tulip and Lance. I see that you're in chat.
Hello.
Hello.
That's not very. Oh, what are we going to watch? Actually, are we going to Nef? Let's go to Nef.
Yeah, we can watch after this game. But I do want to talk to
Yeah, break them the news, and then we can move it from there.
For context, I play a ton of aggro. I love aggro, and by far my favorite matchup is aggro versus aggro or aggro versus fast mid-range, because figuring out when you're supposed to attack and when you're supposed to block and when you're supposed to use your bolts on your opponent's face or their creatures is a super interesting decision train.
What deck is Nefola on again? Mardu mid-range?
Yeah, Nef's on Mardu mid-range.
Mardu, okay. And the other player is Pat on Shadow. Okay, never mind.
Pat on Shadow. I just want to say both of you played those games really, really well. I think game 1.
I think both of you played really, really well, except for Lons in the very last turns of game 1. And
I do have some bad news, Seismic. You drew a Plains, and you had a land drop on your last turn, correct?
Of game 1. We're talking about game 1.
Of game 1. He had... He's typing in the chat. He's got a dog barking in the background that he doesn't want to put on stream. That's fair.
That's fair.
So he controls Thorn Lieutenant and Chief of the Edge, neither of which have attacked. His opponent is at 10. Chief of the Edge is a 3/2. Thorn Lieutenant pumped with Chief of the Edge is a 3/3. Thorn Lieutenant has an ability that is 4 and a green. Thorn Lieutenant gets +3/+3 until end of turn.
It's 5 and the green, but
No, it's 4.
It's 6 mana. That was the 6th land. That was the 5th land plus the land withdraw. You have exactly.
Yeah, he drew a Plains for his last turn, which
the rub is that was enough mana to activate the Thorn Lieutenant's ability, which gave you.
Which would have been lethal.
Yeah. In the meantime, so we are 1-1 in the Nef. We are 1-1 on the Nef versus Party game, and it's not clear to me how Nef gets out of this. Party has a hand that is completely stacked. Yuriko is in hand. Sorry, a board that is way more developed, which this Bitter Blossom is giving out tokens, and this Yuriko. Nef has a Pithing Needle?
Yeah.
So, not great.
To conclude my thoughts on the aggro matchup, I think both of you played that really, really well. Game 1, deciding... Seismic Lons deciding that the only way he's going to win that game is by racing. Is a
Nef
great choice.
has Wrath of God in hand, which would be awesome, but she has no white mana at all. They have no white mana, sorry.
No.
That is so rough.
What's this Pithing Needle naming?
Pithing Needle is naming
Strip Mine.
Fair enough.
Which, yeah, it's fair.
I don't know how fair that is. I don't know if I like naming Strip Mine blind.
It's a reasonable decision, but it's...
I think you wait for your opponent to play Planeswalker. I guess that you check if you know that they don't
Strip Mine naming Yuriko?
No, that doesn't work.
It does.
Yeah, Pithing Needle is only...
Oh, I guess you can't ninjutsu her if Pithing Needle is naming Yuriko. Yeah, that's fair. I think that this is one of the downs. So it doesn't stop the trigger, the Saboteur ability, but it stops the ninjutsu ability.
It does stop the ninjutsu, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Pat just slams this Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah, now Nef feels really bad for playing this Pithing Needle on Strip Mine.
Yeah.
And Nef also is dead on board if Pat flips a 1 or more cost card.
I mean, Yuriko's not gonna connect. There's a Kalidas on board, right?
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
He has no way to remove these Kalidas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nef is, like, really just the only option they have at this point is... Oh! Never mind. Jace can bounce...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, never mind.
I forgot that Jace could down tick.
Jace does have multiple abilities. 4 of them, in fact.
Yeah. If Yuriko flips a land, Pat's gonna feel kind of oof, but I think he still wins either way.
I
mean, Nefola leaves a turn, but she needs to somehow draw 2 white mana. And answer the Bitter Blossom next turn.
He doesn't even live a turn. They don't even live a turn.
Is
Collective Brutality.
Is Fatted Heath in Nefola's pool?
Pat has fallen for the classic X-Mage failure, which is accidentally hitting done and passing priority on your attacker step before declaring attackers.
Oh, okay. Does Nef have filter lens in her hand?
Yeah, in their hand. I don't.
I
can't see.
Sorry, I keep getting that wrong.
Wasteland, not strip mine.
Yeah, Wasteland in fact not a strip mine. Probably
God.
hitting these smoldering march here,
Patrick.
if I would guess.
Either marsh or
6 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Nef is highly dead here. This game
Oh
is
no.
super
Like we are trying to find like the story of this game is that Pat has to work really hard to lose it, and
Filterland to Wrath.
Yeah, I think he needs to.
Good.
So Nef needs to draw. Yeah, or concede. That's fine. So this is game over. That was the entirety of the game, and I think we're done. I think that the other game. No, I think the other game is also
looks
done.
like all the matches.
Yeah.
Okay, so who won? Pat 2-1 or 2-0?
2-1.
Okay.
2-1.
All right. So this leaves us with our finals. Let me type some stuff up here.
All right. So what is the situation right now? Where are we at?
We are done with round 2. We're going into round 3.
Also, not to sell for future streams, in between rounds, I would like to have a way to display the current standings, and that's something we can work on at some point. But just just something to keep thinking of for in the future. Anyway, sorry. Let's keep going.
There we go. There's your matches. So Tulip vs Tenebrae is the finals match for who gets the 3-0 in this one.
Okay.
Nefola versus Nurovi. Nurovi's getting a pair down versus Nefola, which is 0 and 0. And Pat and Seismic are both 1-1. All right.
Alrighty. I think we just watch the finals, right? That's probably.
I think we just watched the finals. As much as I would love to see.
Yeah, I would love to see more of all of these players, to be perfectly honest. But
yeah. Yeah, I think.
So it's the finals is Tulip versus.
Frankly, I could take the Tulip versus Tenebrae. Frankly, I could probably take the time to write out a 30-minute analysis of Tulip versus Seismic Lawns that last game, because that was just such a.
That was a very good game,
match.
yeah. We definitely alright.
Anybody who says that aggro is mindless is just not correct.
Oh, it's absolutely not. I think it.
Yeah.
So here is the thing about aggro that people seem to misunderstand. I think it's definitely true that aggro as a whole leads to you. Okay, so here we have
Sky Cloud Egg in hand from Tenebrae.
So Tenebrae is on this X deck.
Oh right.
What's the question? That was the question. That's correct, right? He's on eggs.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Tulip has a pretty terrible turn 1 with a Mox here. Yeah, he still can't. Even if he strip mines and Mox Rubies here, it's bad, and he can't strip mine because his opponent has no C. Instead of something else. So he's sort of just stuck. You play him out and you Mox Ruby, and then you pass until your opponent's next end step, and either Abrade or Incinerate is appropriate, but this isn't the kind of thing. Let me get Pat Verduzco the link.
Oh, well, I am sorry.
No problem.
Somebody called me.
I think, is that it?
Okay.
You know what? Let me just go to the Twitch.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry. I will say the thing that I don't think understand about aggro, and I see that is that I think it's fair to say that a generic game of aggro of an aggro deck, if it goes the way that
Generic, not genetics.
Yeah, that's what I say. Generic.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes, you are correct.
Like, I think it's fair to say that it carries fewer. It comes with fewer decisions than some elongated games of Control, just because games tend to be shorter. But the thing is that those decisions are much more important. When you're playing aggro, you're playing a razor thin, you're playing a razor thin edge of trying to make sure that things work out.
Yeah, that's not it, Tenebrae, unfortunately. Yeah, I think Tenebrae made the incorrect play here of fetching for Breeding Pool when he had Brainstorm in hand. But it doesn't matter, because Tulip just Magus is here, and he's just, like, kind of dead. Tulip makes the choice of abrading the egg on end step, which I think is the correct choice. But it's just important to note that he did not incinerate his opponent's face. Tenebrae's looking at 3 mountains and a lot of non-red cards in the hand.
Yeah, I mean, Tenebrae has a lot of eggs, like this Kaleidostone, which is also not showing up on the stream, and I'm sorry about it. That can filter mana, so he's not, like, this Magus of the Moon is, like, bad for him, but it's not crazy. Like, he still can use his card parity eggs to, like, make the mana.
Just the fact that Tulip has drawn Strip Mine here makes it near impossible for Tenebrae to win. Even if he finds a basic...
Tenebrae can win out of nowhere. Like, the thing
Tenebrae
is that...
would need to find, like, exactly basic swamp, and then, like...
But that's not true.
To generate extra.
Tenebrae can draw, like, Chromatic Sphere, right? Like, all of these cards are in Tenebrae's deck. He can filter his way through...
Draw cards that are colorless. Yeah?
Like, he's played eggs.
1, 2, 3, 4. He's 1 turn off of cracking this Kaleidostone for 1 of each color.
Yeah, and that's gonna give him...
At which points he can Fyndhorn Elves, Personal Tutor for something to give him colored mana that he cares about, and
Thoughtses, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Thoughts is not looking too hot here, but...
Yeah. Tulip is making the correct play here, in my opinion, of...
Actually, I think you fabricate over Personal Tutoring, because you want to find your next egg.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter.
Tulip has a very anemic... in hand, honestly. He
does have an anemic hand, but I think he's making the right choice of... Now that he's locked his opponent out with Magus, he needs to kill his opponent before he finds a way out of the Magus lock.
For sure.
Yeah. So Tulip has a couple options here. He could either dash this Zergo Bellstriker and play Wild Cattle, and then attack for 4 this turn, and then like 6 next turn. But that would avoid playing the Goyf. Goyf is going to be 1, 2, 3.
No, I can still play the Goyf, right?
I think that the choice here... Oh, he's got a Mox Ruby. Never mind. He can do all 3.
No, he doesn't have enough green mana.
Fetch Verdant Catacombs. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he only has 1 green mana.
He has 2...
I mean, you just play the Goyf.
He passed priority to his opponent. This is a fascinating play we're seeing in a Tulip. I think the correct play there was fetch Catacombs for... Or he can't fetch Catacombs because it is a mountain. Oh, and Rootbound Crag is also a mountain.
So he's actually... And the Street Mine is also a mountain, which is relevant.
I am a very dumb individual.
Yeah.
I think Tulip can still easily...
Oh, no. I mean, yeah. I mean, Tenebrae still is under pressure. He's just, like, he's not under a ton of pressure. And, like, he still has a couple turns. And, they need to see if he... Like... So if he draws a land, he gets to crack the Kaleidostone. That gives him Birds of Paradise.
Doesn't draw a land though.
Fabricate. Yeah, no. His time is rapidly getting to an end.
I think you bot Fabricate Thoughtseize if you can crack the Kaleidostone.
Yeah, he's just done. Okay.
Well, Thoughtseize does deal 2 damage to you. There's kind of
No, I don't think you cast Thoughtseize anymore. You have to make
no.
You assume that your opponent is basically empty-handed.
Yeah.
Skyship
Weatherlight
in Tenebrae 6.
What the fuck? What does that card even do?
It's a Skyship.
You know what? Never mind. I don't even want to see it. What the hell?
I think it like tutors stuff.
Dude, Tulip finding another hand with Strip Mine Mox is just insane.
Yeah, especially against this Windfall. Right?
Yeah, so here,
Windfall not good against an opponent's gonna empty their hand before yours.
You Mox, fetch for what's it called? You know what I'm talking about, Taiga.
Yeah.
Zertok Goblin.
I think that so on Tenebrae's side, I think he wants to draw Mox more than anything because that's his Wooded Foothills, find a blue source and then cycle model the mixture for channel. So him Wooded Foothills for drop, right? And then find channel and then channel and hopefully the channel. I'm assuming that if you get to his channel with enough life total, you just win the game with his deck. I have to believe that.
Tulip is making the gamble here that strip mining Tenebrae is going to be more meaningful than playing more power on turn 1.
Which I think is fair.
Fair, yeah.
To be fair, I'll be honest. For a deck that plays like 20 lands, 20 like artifacts that filter mana, Tenebrae's mana is surprisingly bad.
Yes, yeah, right.
Tenebrae answered the stream mine with oh no.
Oh, yeah. Tulip definitely plays this deck a lot slower than I do. I think if this is me, I'm playing the Zertok Goblin on turn 1, and then the turn after that, strip you, and then Hellspark and Zertok, and then you're in for 6 rather than the 4 that you're in for here.
Yeah.
And you just hope that the strip mine wasn't going to be as effective.
But I think that Tulip's deck is also set up to do that way, right? Like I have a bunch of dumb periods plan is actually a lot. Like I think it lends itself better to take lines that are more stable.
Tulip plays Zertok Goblin for haste. Why?
I don't know.
The math on Riot Creatures works out that in a number of turns equal to the power of the creature...
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Tenebrae has drawn Lich's Mirror.
What is going on?
That's actually a really good draw. Lich's Mirror is a gain 5 draw. Is a go to 20 life, draw 7 cards. If channel is active. You need channel to be active, but you know.
He Grim Tutors for channel here.
Yeah, Grim Tutors for channel, and then if he casts channel next turn, he's in a very good position because he gets to
he can channel out Lich's Mirror.
Yeah, he gets to make a bunch of mana. Well, I mean, he gets
draw
to make
7.
So, I mean, he needs to be able to make enough mana. Like Tulip is gonna deal him some damage, but
Lich's Mirror doesn't. It shuffles itself, but.
No, I mean, but his life total is gonna be 120, and he's gonna have a channel active.
Yeah, he's gonna have an active channel. His life total is gonna be 20, and he's gonna have 7 cards in hand.
Yeah,
and he just has to hope.
But if his life total goes below 5 here, that goes all out the window.
Tulip doesn't know that playing Mountain instead of Mishra's Factory and Sulfuric Vortex would just kill Tenebrae.
Wow, that doesn't. Tenebrae needs to draw a land right here. Tenebrae can't cast channel. Like this plan doesn't work because
he's Breeding Pool Woodland Cemetery.
No. His plan doesn't work though because he's gonna channel.
He doesn't have enough.
Channel is gonna kill him before the Lich's Mirror can hit the battlefield. He needed at least 6 life, and Mr. Tulip just denied him that. Man. So I guess he's gonna.
I mean, it turns out it didn't matter what Tulip did.
I guess he's gonna Windfall now and hope that that's enough. And that's gonna draw him only 3 cards, but not having this Lich's Mirror is super rough.
It's gonna draw him 4 cards. Yeah, no, you're right, 3 cards.
Yeah, because Tulip has...
Wow.
Yeah.
Turns out whatever Tulip did,
Yeah,
turned out Tenebrae.
Tenebrae needed 6 life. Wow,
Tulip
that's...
playing Sulfuric Vortex there would have super dirted out Tenebrae, because he could have Lich's Mirrored, and then when the Lich's Mirror trigger went off, when your life total becomes a number, you actually gain life so that your life total is equal to that number.
Yeah, so you can't gain life. You stay at 0
So
and immediately lose the game again.
Yeah, pretty
well,
much.
okay. I don't fault Tulip for not playing around Lich's Mirror.
Yeah.
We have on the style of this is not a drill. We have Vanquisher's Banner on Lom's side. I transition to the Loms versus Pot side of the things. Yeah. I'm gonna quickly. You talk about the game. I'm gonna change the overlay.
Yeah. He did play around Lich's Mirror with the Elemental. As it turns out, he still got there either way, to play around it. But he had a Sulfuric Vortex in hand, which would, kind of suck for his opponent. Swings in for a lot. 6 here. I can't see cards in hand yet. So Seismic Lawns has Vanquisher's Banner, Soul Ring, Mardu Will Reaper, and Duskwatch Recruiter in hand.
Vanquisher's Banner is pretty hot.
with 3 lands. Switching over to... So I can see Pat's hand. Pat draws Mental Note. He can Urza's Bauble, which looks at 1 card from your opponent's hand.
I think Pat is like a little ahead, but
he's reanimate in hand.
This Vanquisher's Banner is gonna...
Pat gushed. That's why he doesn't have all the lands.
Yeah. So, this Vanquisher's Banner means that if the game goes long, Blance is gonna win it, right? Because Blance is just gonna generate infinite card advantage.
Yeah. I mean, Pat does have an unblockable 3-power creature.
Yeah, for sure.
Massacre.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's definitely ahead on board. I'm saying, I think he can close up the game because this Vanquisher's Banner kills him. But
yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Pat has all good options here. He just swings in for 7. And then if his opponent does anything that makes it so that he's dead, he can counterspell it. Actual counterspell.
Yeah, literal actual counterspell. It would be neat to see... Also, this Mental Note can set up the stick through time, eventually.
I mean, the Mental Note can set up Reanimate, even.
Yeah, I mean, that too.
Have a great day, Tenebrae.
It would be neat to see the Lawn's hand.
I cannot. He is not.
I cannot. I have also requested permission, but he hasn't granted it to us.
That is entirely fair. I mean, Pat did just ask if you could watch the stream. Urza's Bauble trigger. Gonna draw a card.
So I have the hand.
Oh, you have the hand?
Yeah, I have the hand. Should I not watch it because Pat's watching the stream? Is that what's happening?
Maybe? I don't know.
So his handout, however, is like a couple of reasonable creatures in the thoughts is. But the couple of reasonable creatures are going to draw a card because of the Vanquisher's Banner, so that's pretty hype.
Yeah, I think Pat is really far ahead. He just needs to use this counterspell to not lose this game. If his opponent has a way to kill TNN, he can reanimate it back, but that does put him at fairly low life. I think if I'm Pat here, what the hell is Battle Brawler? That card's cool as hell.
That is a warrior.
That card's so sweet. It's a 3/2 with first strike as long as you control a white or red permanent.
It's really good. I
How
remember...
have I never seen this card before?
You have not played enough Fate Reforged Limited because you lost to that card a decent amount, or you won with that card a decent amount. I did not get a chance to play much Dragons Limited. Like the entire
cons block. I never got a chance, which sucks.
Yeah, I mean, this
card
was
really fun.
You would play this card both in Red Black Warriors in Dragons of Tarkir or in the White Black X Warrior deck in Khans, and it was fantastic in both of those scenarios. If you could reliably make it into a 3-power first help for 2 mana, that's just nuts.
Yeah, I think Pat correctly counterspells this. Rayhan, last of the Abzan. Enters with 3 counters. Whenever a creature you control dies or is put in the command zone, if it had counters on it, you can put those. Yeah. Essentially, it's a 3-power modular creature.
Yeah.
Happens to be warrior too.
Yeah.
Also
draw a card, which is pretty relevant.
The choice that Seismic Lawns has made here to,
now he gets to Tatterman's Maniac to draw a card.
Seismic Launch shocked off of this Godless Shrine.
Yeah, which I think is... Did he already have the Tatterman's Maniac in hand?
No idea. I can't see his hand.
So, because the Tattermanj is... If that means that you get to deploy the Tattermanj, getting a 2-1 draw a card in play is actually... Like a 3-2 draw a card in play is actually a pretty good reason to do that. Yeah. The problem is this true name.
Yeah, like I think Pat. Okay, so True Name Nemesis is a really powerful card, and it means that if you thought you were the control at some point, and then your opponent does something that makes you the beatdown, suddenly True Name Nemesis is just like super junning him every turn.
Well, notably, True Name Nemesis dies to a Golgari Charm, which we know is in Seismic Lawns list.
True.
And his own creatures wouldn't die to it. Because of the Vanquisher's Banner.
Yep.
Like, I think that this Mardu Warrior... I think that Party is actually less in a great position that you could be. Because Lawns is going to start pressuring him a lot. Between all of the creatures are huge.
Lawns has a lot of pressure here. He's gained a bunch of life off of this Mardu Woe Reaper, which kind of changes the math for Pat swinging in for lethal.
Yeah, Mardu Woe Reaper has been actually really... Like, this one
Mardu Woe Reaper is just a disgusting
Plus,
card.
He gets to, like, eventually terminate this Tasigur.
I honestly don't know what Pat could draw that wins in the game here.
I don't think Pat's put that in that bad of a position. He's not... Like,
if Pat Yurikos, draws a Yuriko, swings it with True Name, ninjutsus the Yuriko, and flips something with CMC 6 or greater, Tombstalker, Gangler, then he gets there.
Yeah.
But I don't see many other lines where Pat wins the game.
So he needs to survive one more turn, basically, is the rub. Like, if he gets seen with this True Name, right? I guess that's 2 more turns. What is the match score here? We have... Oh, this is game 1.
Oh, okay. Whew. Draws Delver. Can Pat live? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He can block. I mean, okay. Pat can play Delver, Mental Note, Land, which would put enough cards in his graveyard to dig on his opponent's next end step. He swings in with he can't swing in with True Name, so he doesn't. He just blocks with all of his creatures. No, he can swing in with Tasigur. Yeah, this is a really weird spot. I want to see what Pat does.
Tasigur is just like he's gonna just trade for the Tattermanj Maniac though.
I mean, if Tasigur trades for Tattermunch Maniac, you're not even mad about that, because then you True Name to block the Ray Hand, and you're only taking 6. At max.
I guess.
And then you still have Tassiger and a Delver, and if you can flip your Delver...
But then your True Name is not swinging. How do you win the game if you're not connecting with True Name?
If you're not swinging with your True Name?
Yeah. Like,
well,
that's the thing.
You win the next turn if you flip Delver. And find something off of Dig. It's not good.
Yeah.
things are looking bad for Pat here. I think he can definitely dirt out this game, though. I think he can definitely still win.
Yeah, I mean, he's not 0%. He's not deterministic yet, but it's gonna be tough.
Unfortunately, Pat does not have all blue mana in play. He has 1 swamp, which is making things surprisingly awkward. Draws Wasteland. Which is essentially a dead draw here, because he already used his land drop. I mean, not that it matters. Digs. Gonna dig off a blue. What's he gonna leave in the graveyard? If I were to guess, he's probably gonna leave, like, Impulse. Leaves Preordain. Fair enough. Pretty low percentage decision there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but he definitely has lines and has draws. This Vanquisher's banner is gonna make things so hard for him.
If he can kill Vanquisher's banner, the math looks better.
Yeah, for sure.
But he only has 1 swamp left as his lone last mana source. Push makes things much better for you. Because you can swing him with Tassiger, trade with the Tattermunch Maniac, and then block with True Name and push something, and then you're only taking 3. Or 4 at your leisure. And then you just win.
Okay, Castig.
Castig, he finds Click DT.
Okay, Click DT. Click DT.
Does he have an option here?
Can he reanimate something? What are the creatures in graveyards?
Nothing. Is Pat just dead? I think the answer is yes, but
yeah, I don't know how he doesn't. Like, maybe he survives this turn because the Tassiger still does eat something and the True Name still does eat something, so like he can eat the Rayhan. He can eat the Rayhan, eat the like one other creature, and
DT for push.
Ooh, brutal.
Oh!
Well, it doesn't have haste.
Brutal Horde Chief. This card is great, and also
it doesn't have haste, so that's a problem for later.
No, Pat's dead.
Can he activate this turn?
No. Brutal Horde Chief has a first line of text.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, I thought it was only when he attacked. Oh, yeah, okay. No, it's just okay. Pat's super dead.
Brutal Horde Chief is the kill there. Brutal Horde Chief is a great card, by the way.
Yeah. I mean,
man. All right, jumping back into the game 2. Whew. Am I even able to see? I'm gonna ask for Seismic Launch Hand again. Just be highly rude, Willie's mulligan. Yeah, this is some interesting games here.
Yeah, the fact that I had to take over the stream, I had like something planned for in like about 15 minutes, but I'm cancel. I'm telling them I'm canceling because we had to move the stream over to my side.
Oh, you don't have to do that. We've already seen the finals.
Yeah,
it's okay.
No, that's fine. Let's keep watching.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Up
okay.
to you.
It's okay. So Pat starts with the old fetch Underground Sea Thoughts as you, puts him at 17 life.
On my screen, Pat went to 17, played the fetch for Underground Sea, and then Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
What do you take here? Half? Or swords?
So, I think the swords. I don't think you don't take the swords because you're planning on piercing the swords, like
or duressing it.
Or duressing it. Like that's the only thing that you can like. Those duress and pierce are there for. I think you'd probably take either the Fanatic of Xenagos or the Rayhan.
What would he take? Rayhan, yeah.
Yeah, I think either is fine. Sorry.
Seismic Lawns plays a fetch and passes. That's a really weird keep from Seismic Lawns. I am not a big fan of the 2-3 drops.
Yeah, just having nothing to do until that late in the game. I guess this plow can get him there. But
what is he fighting for?
Pat's gonna duress the plow before he does before he plays any threat.
What's he fetching?
He Overgrown Tomb tapped.
Why?
Why not?
Because if you leave your fetch up, you can fetch for a light source and path?
I mean, he still has 2 more fetch lands than the Mana Confluence, and I don't think he's gonna have trouble.
No, right, but if Pat taps out for JVP here.
Oh, you're saying, yeah, why is he fetching now? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, why fetch now when you could fetch instead?
I don't know, click economy, I guess.
Oh, reanimate! Reanimating the Rayhan!
Reanimate the Rayhan.
That's sick as hell.
That is
I love
nice.
Reanimate.
Yeah. I love that the Legacy... I love that how Reanimate is a tech that the Legacy Death Shadow decks have been employing. You can reanimate their Grizzle brand off of the Reanimator, off of Black Red Reanimator, and they don't feel good about that scenario. I don't know why I'm saying things in the way that I'm saying them, but it's not good if your opponent has your Grizzle brand in play. That's not why you put Grizzle brand in play.
And they're suddenly having... Oh, he's reanimating Street Wraith instead.
Okay. That's actually... It's
a
more
choice that is entirely defensible.
Yeah, I mean, it's unblockable. There's already an Overgrown Tomb. There's already an Overgrown Tomb in play, and this duress. Oh, Lance gets getting really punished for his choice of not giving plow up. And,
yeah.
To be fair, Pat, I think could have I think if it was up, the Pat would have just duress first, right? If you care about the sequencing, you just go duress then.
Because Pat knows about the swords.
Yeah, I think Pat mis-sequencing his spell, knowing that Lance couldn't have responded. I think if he could, he would it still wouldn't have worked out, right?
I mean, Pat's play here of duress is good, but I'm a much bigger fan of just
trying to pierce it. Yeah.
Because what if your opponent plays something meaningful on 2? You know?
Duress and Pierce both are gonna lose value, though, right? Because after a while, your opponent is gonna be empty-handed. So it's.
Do you Underground River Liliana or just play Opt?
I think you don't do anything. I think you play Underground River and Pass.
Underground River and Pass, gotcha.
Yeah, and then you have Pierce up, and then you plan to Opt. Maybe actually not. You're gonna have Opt up anyway. Yeah, no, I don't like that. I think you opt on your turn and then play Underground River and Pass.
So here's Pat getting punished for reanimating his Street Wraith rather than his opponent's Rayhan. If he had reanimated his opponent's Rayhan, he could downtick Liliana and pick back up Street Wraith and then cycle it.
Yeah, but Street Wraith is a 3/4 unblockable. That's actually a pretty meaningful creature.
Yeah, I agree that it's very powerful, but the cost is that you don't get to do a Liliana play. That's really cool. Just gonna +1.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Because he knows his opponent has Fanatic, and
yeah, I mean -2 in the Liliana because Pat's deck has a grand total of 15 creatures in it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Minus
there are
2
14 doors. So you won't want to blind -2 the Liliana. That's just not good.
Yeah, that's a low percentage play.
Yeah. He's very much a tempo deck in the style of like the Legacy tempo deck, which are very threat light.
Yeah. Just plays Liliana, passes it on over. His opponent fetches, finds
Draws
Chromatic
Lantern, which has yet to look good.
I think you gotta on-crop Crasher and swing and hit this Liliana, because then Pat has no way to interact with you then exerting on-crop the turn afterwards just to kill Liliana.
This Graveblade Marauder cannot be good.
I don't think so. Card's
I
not
mean,
very good.
it gets just blanked by the Liliana. Also.
You definitely don't play Graveblade Marauder.
Well, no, for sure.
I honestly think there's no scenario where playing Fnatic of
You
Zen
probably
is
click.
better.
You probably play Crasher and just slam into the Lily, right?
Yeah. Play Crasher, slam into Lily, and then if Pat has removal, and whatever play you had that was gonna kill Liliana was gonna fail anyway.
Like the problem with that plan is that.
So this way takes Liliana down to 1.
Like, okay, here is the thing. I think Atlons is significantly behind at this point, and he needs to find he needs to take risks. Like,
you know what?
You need to take
Liliana
more risks
uptick
when you're.
protects it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but it still means that the Crasher is like keeping the Lily basically where she is. Like the Lily is gonna go to 1 here, then go to 2, and then keep going from 1 to 2, and that's gonna buy you time.
Yeah. At that point, you can Fnatic the next turn, which is going to get a counter.
I think turn 1 3/4 with Swamp Walk is better than you give it credit for Cheetah.
I think it's very good, actually.
Ghastly Demise for this Anchor Crasher, which can.
I mean, yep, that's a great
that,
drop.
That does it.
Dude, look at Pat's hand. What a great place to be. Like,
yeah, like you have a removal spell,
Ghastly Demise.
And the cantrip, yeah. I think you just pass here.
Oh my god.
I guess actually you probably main phase. Do you main phase the Ghastly Demise just in case your opponent? I guess your opponent doesn't play blue.
Yeah, I mean your opponent's 4-color, no blue.
Yeah.
Pat does not know what he's doing when you're tapping for mana. Pat does not know that if you click on the mana panel in the left side, you can actually use some of that mana.
It's
super unintuitive.
Oh, you think it's not the worst? Okay, yeah, okay. Sorry. Yes. And then we're in agreement.
Yes, so yeah, drawing this Flusterstorm is kind of cool. Essentially just Spell Pierce number 2. Swings in with the Street Wraith. How many turns do we have until the Street Wraith is lethal? 4
like
more?
Some.
Some.
A number. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's 4 at this point after this one.
And
it's not the fastest of clocks. But, I'm assuming Pat is counting on drawing some more stuff. Notably, the Great Marauder only has 1 power. So the Liliana just completely blanks it. Because, it's not gonna do his Death Touch thing.
Yeah, can't deal combat damage.
Can't deal combat damage, so...
Dude, if Seismic launches Chromatic Lanterns here, he is going to get super blown out.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna be good for him. Then again, if I am Pat, and don't even know if I counter if I don't know if I Spell Pierce it. Because it's like, whatever, it's a Chromatic Lantern, who cares?
I mean, yeah, but it's another turn. Like, it's essentially just a time walk, right? It's another turn where your opponent does nothing.
You also probably know that the Spell Pierce doesn't have a ton of targets, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What else are you doing with it, right?
So, okay. Pat, assuming it's gonna Ghastly Demise the Fanatic of Xenagos?
Yeah.
Okay, actually, never mind. I think because you drew Flusterstorm, then you Spell Pierce. Because the Flusterstorm has the same problem.
Yeah.
What it doesn't.
Flusterstorm has even less targets. By the way, I do not like Flusterstorm at all.
I mean, it depends on the meta you expect. If you're
in Canadian Highlander, I think Flusterstorm is very poor.
I think I disagree. If you expect a bunch of combo, Flusterstorm is good.
Yeah, it's definitely it's obviously a meta call.
But that's not a bad read to have on the meta, that people are gonna show up with awful combo decks and you're gonna Flusterstorm their payoff and then win.
Yeah, I think it is a poor meta read for this meta, and also including a main deck blind in your deck is probably just not a good choice.
I mean, I had it in my deck for a while. It's not in my deck anymore. So
there are multiple.
You know how much I like cheap interaction. We had a whole discussion about this earlier. That like,
yeah, exactly.
This is like one of the few ways to interact for 1 mana, and then they just don't have it anymore.
I mean, there are multiple decks that just never play an instant or sorcery you will ever care about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or the instant sorceries that you do care about are not going to be Flusterstormable. Like, if they bolt your creature as the first thing they do in a turn and they have 3 mana up, you're just kind of like, well, yeah, you got it.
I mean, that's a relatively narrow scenario, right? Like, there's
I think the important thing to note is that
by that scenario, if they bolt your creature and they have 3 mana up, Spell Pierce doesn't do anything anyway, right? Like,
right, but what I mean is, like,
yeah, the Spell Pierce can counter the Liliana, which Flusterstorm can't.
A high percentage of instants and sorceries that you care about in this format cost 1 and 2 mana. And Flusterstorm there are multiple cases where Flusterstorm just doesn't do it.
Yeah. Pat confirmed very good at drawing Dig Through Time. We have seen Dig Through Time, I believe, every single time that we have watched against him. We have played,
Pat confirmed Points Magnet.
What's he gonna take? Gonna try looking at his hand.
I wish I could see what he was DTing for, or DTing for.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's gonna be the peak very soon, right? It's just gonna happen. It's just gonna happen presently.
Pat has multiple scenarios here where he is just, like, super dead. Taking Scalding Tarn Brainstorm kind of sucks because he can't Scalding Tarn.
I think you just have to wait on the Brainstorm, right?
Yeah, like
I think you play the Scalding Tarn and pass. If your opponent forces you to crack it to has the Spell Pierce, you do. And if you don't, then
you don't. Yeah. It kind of sucks. It doesn't suck that bad, but it does suck a little bit. Pat has 3 more turns before his opponent is dead. It's super possible that Pat just dies here, but looking at Lon's hand, it's not likely. Lons has good reason to curve Chromatic Lantern into Thorn Lieutenant here. Which would be a play that gets blown up by Spell Pierce.
Yeah, but again, I'm not sure. When your opponent already has 4 mana, do you actually Spell Pierce as Chromatic Lantern, especially when it means that your Brainstorm doesn't do the thing anymore? I don't think.
Well, yes, because you've seen his hand and you know he doesn't have anything that costs 1 mana, and anything that he does have that costs 1 mana, you very likely don't.
You only know
Graveblade
Marauder off of their hand at this point. That's the only card that was in hand.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Oh.
So I think
it's unlikely that they would have drawn a 1 mana piece of interaction that kills your straight wave.
Yeah, I think you are like I think the main problem is that you're just so desperate for this Brainstorm to actually draw 3 cards instead of just 1 that you have to. If I think if Lantern is a play, I definitely let it resolve there because I just need my Brainstorm to actually be a Brainstorm. Like this Flusterstorm and Spell Pierce are looking awful, and I just don't want them in my hand anymore.
Oh, dude, Alesha can get back Rayhan.
It's pretty hype.
It's tapped and attacking.
Pretty hype. I mean, hopefully, I think that Party is hoping that this Alesha gets to again die to remove a spell drawn off the Brainstorm or 4 turns.
I mean, damn, dude, that's in for 6, and if he kills the Rayhan, he just puts a counter on something else. Yeah.
I mean, again, Lance's
This
deck
is more
has...
of a squeaker for Pat than...
Yeah, Lance's deck has, I think, when you let it do its thing and it doesn't draw all of its bad cards, I think it's more powerful than we get.
All of its bad cards? Rude.
I mean, some of the cards in this deck are bad. Like, that is just a fact. Like,
Wasteland's a dead draw here.
I mean, I think...
It puts another card in your hand for Brainstorm.
Yeah, I mean, I think you open with Brainstorm and see where that takes you.
Yeah, Brainstorm.
But Wasteland, I think, is better than either Flusterstorm or
Here we go.
Spectres.
Stifle Serum Vision's Island.
Not the greatest draws in the universe. I think you put...
I think
I put back Island and Flusterstorm here. Wasteland makes the Spell Pierce better as well.
Yeah. Oh man, that sucks. You can stifle the Alesha trigger.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Which keeps you alive.
Your opponent will not have to pay mana for it, if that's the case. But you know.
Do you Serum Visions here off of the Pain land?
No. I fetch a blue source and Serum Visions off of that.
Basic Island?
Yeah, Basic Island.
Yeah, then Serum Visions.
Yeah, and then if you have to take a pain to stifle during their turn, you do, and if you don't, you don't.
I mean, that takes you down to 7. You're going to be taking 3, 4 at that point.
And
Draw
probably...
Spellseeker.
And I think I am wasting their Overgrown Tomb here as well.
So it's important to note, Street Wraith is entirely unblockable.
Yeah.
And Pat needs 3 more turns to kill. If Pat can secure 3 turns, he'll win. Is Pat playing Time Walk?
Not that I know of. We can check. Can you check that list actually?
Yeah. If he Spellseekers for Time Walk, he just kind of wins.
Yeah.
Because he can chump the Alesha with Spellseeker.
Yeah, there you go.
And Time Walk.
Or you can trade the Spellseeker for the Shrunk Ankro Crusher.
Yeah, it doesn't matter either way. You're still alive. No Time Walk.
There is a real question of whether Alesha is also going to never mind.
Fair enough.
So
Pat's playing foil, which is a really rad include, and I just wanted to shout it out here.
Oh, you can foil people with foils?
Hell yeah, dude.
I think I am contractually obligated to say that every time that somebody says the word. I mean, also Patty has just not drawn any additional pressure this entire game, which is very unfortunate for him. But you know,
poor Pat. You know this is Pat Produsco, right?
Yeah, I am aware.
Okay, I was like, is he just saying Patty to say Patty?
No, his name on X-Mage is Patio 2.
Oh, I was like, are you friends with Pat Produsco and I don't know about it?
I'm not. His name on X-Mage is Patio 2, and that's just been tripping me. I keep trying to say Pat, and I say Patty instead, because I see that. And I am sorry about that. I'll try to be a little bit more careful in the future, but that's why I keep saying that.
If your opponent swings in with Alesha Oncrop at your face, you take 4, stifle the Alesha trigger, you swing in, your opponent goes to 2, and then you need to Spellseeker for...
Here is the thing. I think that the
Ghastly
Alesha...
Demise?
I think Ghastly Demise is already in the graveyard. It was already used.
Oh, it's already in exile.
Yeah. Here is the thing. I think that Seismic is gonna attack the Liliana.
If he attacks the Liliana, Pat's super winning this game.
I think that Ankro Crusher is gonna swing at Pat, and I think that Alesha is gonna swing at Liliana. And then counting to put Rayhan on the battlefield attacking Pat. Because I think that getting the Liliana off of the battlefield is important enough. He doesn't know that the trigger is gonna get stifled.
Yeah, because you can put the Rayhan onto the battlefield attacking Liliana.
Yeah. No, I mean, or yeah. I think that one of these 3 power creatures is gonna be attacking Liliana. Either the Alesha or the... That's even worse for him now, because that means Pat's gonna have a Liliana. No, I mean, I don't know if the Liliana is worth more than 3 life here. Maybe it's not. Thinking about stifling.
I think you just high stifle. Well, because the other thing is, if he just gets Rayhan,
what can he
go
get?
To 1.
Can he get card draw with? Can you get? Oh, wait. If you draw a land, you can spell here for collective brutality, and then
is he playing Culprit?
I'm assuming he is, and then
he's playing it,
and then Lance is just dead next turn, or some other way of dealing too. But like
yeah, no. If he draws a land, he can Culprit and drain, and then that's just the win.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to stifle here. Oh my god. What a game! What a game! Alright, Pat! Do it.
I mean, I don't... Yeah, but... Or you can just draw collective brutality, that also works. Does he have any other way to deal direct damage?
No. No.
No?
Let me,
Okay.
Yeah, definitely no.
Okay.
Oh, man. He can down take with Liliana, even, if he wants. Where you can pay the mana, then I can stifle it.
That's not how that card works. So Pat is asking... Yeah. Not have a reflexive trigger. So,
oh, I spelled resolution in a very
resolution
highly dyslexic manner there.
Either way, like, so, here is what you're referencing. Alesha, the way that Alesha is worded is, I'm gonna read the oracle here because it's important. Whenever Alesha, who smiles at that attacks, you may pay Ores of Hybrid. If you do, target creature card with power 2 or less, return target creature card with power 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped and attacking. Here's the thing.
The trigger goes off.
The trigger goes on the stack, and then upon resolution, you get to decide if you do, and then the moment you decide to pay, you are immediately, the creature immediately goes on the stack. New creature, there's some new cards, there is a new style of triggers on new cards that say, instead of, they look exactly the same, but instead of if, they say when you do, instead of if you do. That is called a reflexive trigger. That is going to put an extra trigger on the stack.
Yeah.
And in that case,
No, Pat's dead!
No, he's not dead yet.
Oh my god.
He's not dead yet, right?
No.
He can shrink something, and then put the spells he had in play, finding collective brutality, and then he takes damage from the Thorn Lieutenant. No, because he has to take damage from 3 creature.
Doesn't have an extra land, yeah.
Yeah, he has to take that. So I think he starts with Mental Note and see what happens. Because if you have Mental Note into a creature that he can cast, right?
There are creatures he can cast. He can Mental Note into Baleful Strix.
He can Mental Note into Death's Shadow. That would be pretty high.
He can Mental Note into Nimble Obstructionist. And then... Oh, going for the Spellseeker kill spell here?
Oh, that also works, yeah. That's fine. That's a fine draw. It's sad that this Liliana didn't get to kill anything. If you're looking in Pat's side, you're like, can you please play the stupid Mardu War Reaper that lost me game 1? Can we, like...
Can we go back and do that? Spellseeker's for a removal spell. But here's the thing. Then you shrink on Crop Crasher, and you take 2 from Thorn Lieutenant. And then you're just, like, not dead yet. I don't know what 1-mana removal spell you could find for...
Push doesn't kill Alesha. You need to kill Alesha.
Yeah, you need to kill Alesha.
Push doesn't do it because it doesn't have Revolt.
Oh, yeah. Oh. And even
this figure,
does he have?
This figure would do it. I am if that card is in
This
his
figure's
list.
not in the list. He's not playing Chain of Vapor either. Man.
Yeah, this is.
Is it really gonna happen like that?
This is interesting. I'm assuming he's just looking at his list trying to figure things out.
Yeah. Does he have Unearth? Or just Reanimate? Just Reanimate.
Yes.
Unearth is a great card.
Skullduggery would do it.
Skullduggery? Oh, the -1, +1/+1?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because then it can team up with the Liliana to kill something, right?
Yeah, does the pad have the way to pump?
I mean, pump doesn't even do anything, to be perfectly honest, but...
You can pump your street with 2 more power and then...
yeah, I guess. So, this Alacia... If this Alacia leaves the battlefield, if he has a way to heal the Alacia, then he can at least survive until next turn. Because you can shrink the Thorny Lieutenant to 0 power, and then the Anchor Crusher... Oh, the Anchor Crusher can exert, so the Spell Seer would have to jump in front of the Anchor Crusher. Finds Fatal Push, so that's gonna hit the Thorn Lieutenant. But that's just not good enough, because then the Alacia is gonna go off. Right?
Alacia goes off, and...
He doesn't have Revolt. So he can Liliana his own Spell Seeker to get Revolt?
Yeah, but then you're still not good enough.
No, it's not.
Because he can exert the On-Crop Crasher and then get you for 5 On-Crop and Thorn Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is bad.
This is... Wow. Are we missing something?
Nope. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, this figure would have been the card.
What the fuck does this figure do?
It's not that bad. This figure is pretty good, actually. Also, I'm really disappointed they didn't ask me the...
Oh, that's the -2/-2?
Yeah.
Ulcerate would kill him.
But it would be really funny.
It would be extremely funny. He's not playing Ulcerate. I think he maybe should be.
His list is not as in on Death Shadow as you know.
I mean, for fuck's sake, he reanimated a Street Wraith turn 1 and took 5. Don't apologize, Pat. Man. That's what I like to see. I just received a notification that somebody has begun streaming.
Oh. Is it us?
It's not us, unfortunately.
No, that's good, because we have been streaming for a while. So we're getting notification now. That's
Sacrifices Liliana the Last Hope in a last-ditch effort?
No, that gives him Revolt.
Oh my god, he does it! He has it! That's the win. You push Alacia.
I don't know about the win. That's the survival. Also, now Thorn Lieutenant is a real creature, so now he's going to 1.
On-Crop Crash is a real creature.
No. My point is that he needs... So Anchor Crash is going to make so that he can't attack now. Anchor Crash is making so that the Street Breath can block. And the Spell Seeker is going to have to chomp the Anchor Crasher so that the Thorn Lieutenant gets in. And he goes to 1.
Yeah.
At that point, the Street Wraith can get in. The Anchor Crash is not going to untap, but he still needs to draw. He still needs to draw a removal spell for the Thorn Lieutenant.
Still needs to find Collective Brutality.
Yeah, or a removal spell for the Thorn Lieutenant would give him another turn. I don't know. Assuming that Seismic Clones has bricks in hand, which he doesn't, he definitely has some real cards. Yeah.
What
he has
his hand?
His Bloodchain Rager, Grand Warlord Rara, Chromatic Lantern, Graveblade Marauder, so maybe Real Cards was a little bit of a stretch, but he has a
maybe Real Cards was a stretch. There's a case to be made that you play the Chromatic Lantern to make Thorn Lieutenant also lethal next turn if you draw land.
Okay.
Or am I reading this ability?
Thorn Lieutenant costs 6 mana to activate. You keep saying it's 5. It's not.
I can't read. You know, Magic the Gathering is a difficult game for dumb people.
Like,
yeah, there we go. Go to 1. You got this, Pat. I believe in you. If he finds it, he can win.
Yeah.
If he mental notes for exactly Collective Brutality.
Or draws Collective Brutality, right? That's he still has
he has 2 draw steps. 2 out of 76. So
again, and there are a number of things that can kill the Thorn Lieutenant, which would allow him to not die.
I mean, it's 1 in 30 that he just wins the game. The number
actually, like, there's a number of things that. Okay, so Bloodchin Rager.
The number of cards in Pat's list that.
So if he draws a removal spell, right? That means that the Street Wraith still has to stay back for 1 turn, but he gets to kill the Bloodchin Rager, and that the Thorn Lieutenant can't get in.
If he draws a land and mental notes for Cryptic or finds Cryptic, he wins.
That's also true.
Just trying to see what else does it.
Well, Bobble.
Not Urza's Bubble.
Let's see what the mental note has for him. I mean, Urza's Bubble means that he can
Urza's Bubble.
Crack the bubble and hope to draw an instant speed removal spell that he can cast for his draw.
If he mental notes and finds a land here, he can play the land, play Urza's Bubble, crack Urza's Bubble, and just pray for... Oh, there's a path to victory.
Alright, do you just slam the Yuriko and hope that you draw something? Is that the plan here? Hope that you flip a 4? It's not very many hits.
It's a very low percentage of hits, but I think it's your only option.
I don't think it's your only option. So, I guess that plays better than just hoping to draw like a instant speed removal spell off of the bubble. How many instant speed removal spells does Pat play? Does Pat play? I am sorry.
Does Pat play that he can cast with this mana?
With 3 mana.
And not die. Dismember.
Okay.
Paying 1 black.
Yeah.
Fatal Push, which has already been cast this game.
Yeah, Ghastly Demise has already been cast too.
Ghastly Demise has already been cast this game. Snuff Out will kill him.
That's uncastable.
And that's it.
He's only have those for removal spells?
At instant speed.
Wow, that's not very many.
There's no instant speed bounce either.
Yeah, I think you just have to go. How many cards that cost 4 or more on his list?
4 or greater in Pat's list. He has 5 4s. So 5 plus 3 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. Plus 3 is 13. 14 cards in his library have 4 or greater.
Yeah, okay. Because he has 15 total.
14 cards in his deck.
Yeah. So Dig Through Time is already out, but that's the only one.
So that's 13.
Yeah.
Okay,
so he has. I think this line is much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has many more outs.
Pat in chat.
Here we go, baby.
We got this.
You need to win it.
Okay, so 13 out of 72 is... What's the percentage on that? Like, less than a third?
It's about a 1/6.
Holy
a little
shit.
bit. Yeah, it's about 2 in 13.
So that's about, like, what?
About
16%?
Yeah, 15-16%, something like that.
Oh! Here we go!
Oh,
Oh my god.
Let's go to the lottery, boys.
Oh my god. Here we go.
No, it's 2. It's Chainazir. It's Diabolic Edith.
Oh no!
We cannot cast. No.
Oh! That is just absolutely crushing. Man. Wow. What a game. What a game. Seismic Lawns takes it 2-0. My
Wow,
goodness.
that was nuts. All right.
Who won out of Nef and Nurovi? Are they still playing? They're still playing.
Well, let's finish watching them then.
Oh my god. What a game between
Yeah, that was
Seismic
something.
Holy shit.
What a game. Yeah, right? What the fuck is going on? Can somebody tell me what's going on the board here? Nef has approximately 100 million lands. The Monarchy. 2 cards in hand.
That explains why.
Three unique tokens.
Which we cannot see, but they are an assassin with Death Touch and Haste made by Queen Marchesa. A zombie made by I don't know what. And a 1/1
non-vigilance warrior.
Yeah. Also made by I don't know what.
Oh my god.
But she's also a life with a true name on the field.
What is they are.
So
I keep getting that wrong. I am so sorry.
The warrior was created by a Mardu.
Mardu what?
Mardu charm.
Oh, I see.
What?
Yeah,
And the
Mardu
zombie
charm
was created off of Kalitas.
I mean, okay, so I'm in a lot. I'm in a couple card design discords. Somebody made a card that was if you control 5 unique tokens, you win the game. And this is like seeing this just makes me very happy with the warrior, zombie, and assassin.
Is this what card? So this is the Timna the Weaver wearing a sword of fire. Man,
Nurovi's in for 3. Not electing not to spin up Shambling Event here.
No, this just gets blocked.
Just gets blocked by
everything.
Scotter.
Or like
Big Scott?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you want to block the zombie with the band.
Look at what Nef has in hand.
I don't think they have given me permission to see hands.
Okay, Nef has Terminate Fatal Push in hand.
Okay, yeah, now I have
Nurovi is
permission
not
to
giving
see.
me permission to see their hands. Nurovi takes the Monarchy.
Yeah, Nef has just a billion removal spells. Nurovi is gonna get to draw an extra card. Thanks to this. Thanks to the Monarchy here. So
Nef has 12 damage on board.
He can Fatal Push the team now if one of his creatures die.
Nef has Fatal Push Terminate in hand.
Well, that's Nef's hand. Sorry, we're watching. Sorry. So Nef can.
Nef has onboard lethal.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Nef has 12.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 12. Against the hand,
Nurovi passes.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's in Nurovi's hand. He might have some stuff that...
4 cards in hand.
Oh, that's just 12 without the lava card.
It's 12, and Nurovi might think they can block with Shivling Net, but...
Yeah, it's not
Terminate and Fatal Punch is 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, Nurovi might also have removal spells of his own.
Yeah, entirely true. They just can't be red or blue.
Yeah, I mean, which really means they can't be red. Not a whole lot of blue removal spells that exist in the
not a whole lot of blue in the. I mean, Celestial Colonnade.
I'm not above putting chain. What is it? Curse
Chain
of
of
Chains.
Vapor?
No, Curse of Chains in my deck.
What?
It's 1 blue white, and it says at the beginning of it's 1 and then a blue white hybrid mana, and it says at the beginning of each upkeep, top enchanted creature. It's an aura.
narcolepsy, but also castable.
Yeah, it's narcolepsy, but it's still better than narcolepsy, because narcolepsy only taps it at the beginning of their controller's upkeep. This taps it every upkeep.
Nefola made a really rad mono 1-drop Esper control list that I had the opportunity to play against. Did you know that there are approximately 100,000 white single mana auras that remove a creature, kind of?
We had a discussion actually in the Discord the other day where we were talking about it, right? And we were trying to figure out all of the possible ways that you can use in order, like, so there's a card in Ravnica Allegiance called Sky Tether.
Yes.
Which is 1 mana to give a card the defender and make it lose flying. And I was thinking, I find that blue-white control is really starved for ways to kill a creature for 1 mana. Is this good enough?
Yeah.
And
probably not.
I think the answer is probably no. But
is
also,
blue-white control already playing Oust?
I don't know the list well enough.
Fair enough.
Like, the reason that I prefer playing Blue Moon to Blue-White Control, and that I have been on Blue Moon as much as I have, is exactly that. It's that I find that it is just so much easier to kill 1-drops with when you have bolts in your deck than when you have all of these Blue-White gets to play Wrath of God and catch up after you play Wrath of God, because they actually have gained some life, which is very relevant. But it's really not.
Can somebody tell me why Nefola did not attack with Lava Claw Reachers?
That is a good question to which
they just have like no reason not to.
Answer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very good possibility. The reason is
they
forgot.
Yeah.
Lava Claw Reach is notably at the leftmost part of the screen, which means might have been the first land that they played this game.
Yeah.
So it might have been on the battlefield
also
for a
the
while.
Memorable.
It's definitely the least memorable manland, yeah.
I mean, it's the worst manland out of all of them. Out of all of that Sci-Hole, it's definitely the worst one. It's still not bad, but it's still the worst one.
Restless Trigger's still on attack. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But then now True Name is untapped.
Yeah. However, the only thing it can block is the Assassin.
Yeah, I mean, you do what you have to.
You take 7 here. I mean, at least they're not dead.
You take 9 because the Soul Trigger can go face.
So that's the hard punish for Neff by not attacking with the zombie.
But Nurovi, like...
Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Nurovi might have actually, like, if he untaps slams with True Name and has some way of cleaning up the last 2 damage, I think.
Yeah.
Was that the 2-1 or the 2-0?
I don't see the game anymore, so it was probably the last game. It might have been the 2-1 and we missed game 1.
It was the 2-1. Neff took it. Got it.
Yeah, that was a game.
Well, there we go. So our final standings: Tulip takes the tournament with 9 win points on Red Green Aggro, on my favorite list. Number 2 is Seismic Lawns on tied for number 3, I'll say, is Seismic Lawns and Tenebrae.
Tied for number 2.
You know what I mean.
That's how it works out.
Okay. On 4-color No Blue Warriors, Tenebrae on Channel Eggs combo, Channel Storm. In number 4, Nefola on a list that I just saw. Marty Midrange. Pat Produsco.
So Nefola 2-1, right?
Yeah.
So okay,
Nefola,
just wait here.
So
I'm noting things down as we go. So we got
Tulip is 3-0.
Tulip is 3-0.
Seismic Lawns and Tenebrae are both 2-1.
Okay. No, wait. Seismic clones is 2-1. Okay. So
tied for 4th.
Okay, who is 1-2?
Nefola, PatPatPat, and Nurovi. Nefola on Mardu midrange, PatPatPat on blue-black tempo.
Okay.
And Nurovi on Esper midrange.
Yeah.
And Windy and Kara both dropped.
So I'm gonna mark them as 0-1.
Yeah. I mean, they both lost their games and then dropped.
Yeah, but they had an appearance, I guess, is the thing.
So,
okay.
That concludes our tournament. Excuse me. Thank you for everybody who showed up. Sorry that there were some minor technical difficulties to begin the stream with.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure minor is what I would say, but there definitely were some technical difficulties.
I am trying to use euphemism to make it feel not as bad that everything went terribly wrong. Hopefully next week the Pacific Northwest will not be snowy, and my internet will actually work. But if wishes and dreams are candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. We'll see how it goes next week. Please show up. Please sign up. Thank you for everybody showing up. That puts Season 2, our current Season 2 leader is Tulip.
Yep.
We'll see for how long that stays, huh?
We'll, so currently we have, I mean, the standings are the same as they are for this thing that you just said, right? Tulip first and then our 2-1 contestant second. But yeah, we'll see how that works out. It's gonna be interesting.
Yep. Well, thank you. Play Highlander. Check out Canadian Highlander.
Oh, actually,
Figure it out.
a thing I'm gonna do for the people that are watching, in case they want to check the Discord. If you want to enter this tournament again, we just you just show up on the Discord. We usually have an announcement on Thursdays, and then you can just send us your deck list and show up on Sunday at noon Pacific and play games.
Yeah.
That means that you need a way to access the Discord, which I am posting on the Discord right now. So
yeah,
I'll just do that.
If you also have access to the Loading Ready Run Discord, I am also in the Loading Ready Run Discord. Drop me an @ in the hashtag Highlander or hashtag Magic channel, and I will give you access to the Highlander Discord. You can also find it on the Canadian Highlander Facebook page. All roads lead to the Highlander Discord.
So yeah. You got your ways to enter this tournament, and please do. We always are very willing to welcome new people. This is a great format. It's all of our favorite formats, I think, for all the people that are here, and we would love to.
I mean, okay, limited is a different question.
All of our favorite constructed format. Let's not get into we just really want to see more people playing it, and that's why we're doing this. So show up. Yeah. Let's play some Magic.
Thanks everybody who showed up. And, have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and play more Highlander, I guess. See you next time. Goodbye.
Yeah.